Chapter 551. 551 Weapon Forging Sect Profound Fragrance. Lord Lu Ming, you're really amazing. The geniuses of our weapon forging sect are so much weaker than you. Oh. Xian Xiang's eyes were burning as she looked at Lu Ming. Cough cough. Lu Ming was a little embarrassed from being stared at. He coughed a few times and then came to his senses. You're from the weapon forging sect? That's right. My father is the sect master of the weapon forging sect. Xian Xiang did not have any ulterior motives and said it directly. She stared at Lu Ming with a very curious gaze. Ahem, miss, please pay attention to your manners. The burly man on the side reminded. Notice what? Lord Lu Ming is one of us. Xian Xiang laughed. Lu Ming also smiled. This Xian Xiang was obviously a young lady without any experience and no scheming. Miss Xuanxiang, everyone. I'm not happy with what you're saying. I'm also heading to the weapon forging sect to look for your sect master. Lu Ming said. You're going to the weapon forging sect to look for my father? That's just right, let's go together. Xian Xiang's eyes brightened as she said with great joy. All right. Lu Ming nodded. The others were overjoyed as well. With such a powerful existence like Lu Ming with them, they would not have to fear the people from the Heavenly Corpse sect. After that, the group of people set off together and headed north. Lord Lu Ming, you're really amazing. You're so young and you're already so powerful. How did you cultivate? Lord Lu Ming, you're so powerful. What's your ranking among the Ditian Divine Guards? How many more formidable geniuses like you are in the Ditian Divine Guard? Lu Ming, do you have a girlfriend? How about I introduce you to someone? I'll just introduce myself. I'm just joking. Lord Lu Ming, I've heard that Saint Xingqian is the #1 genius in the Tianqian region, and a proud son of heaven on the list of top 1,000 talents. How does Lord Lu Ming compare to Saint Xingqian? Has Lord Lu Ming seen him before? Along the way, Xian Xiang followed Lu Ming and asked him questions non-stop. Lu Ming could not help but smile bitterly. He cast a pleading look at the others at the side. However, they all showed an expression of helplessly wanting to help, turning their heads and pretending not to see. Lu Ming felt a huge headache. After flying for a few hundred miles, Xian Xiang had asked at least a few dozen questions. At this moment, Lu Ming's reinforcements arrived. Buzz! An NBSP whoosh! Oh! In front of them, there were more than 50 people flying towards them at an extremely fast speed. Each of them had a strong qi, and they were obviously experts. The leader of the group was a young man in a white robe. It's Xian Zhong. A burly man on the side said. Soon more than 50 people arrived. Xiang Xiang, are you all right? As soon as the young man in the lead arrived, he looked at Xian Xiang with concern and asked. It'd be a wonder if we're fine. If we were relying on you guys, we would have been dead long ago. You're so late. Xian Xiang's lips curled up and she snorted. You guys ran into the people from the Heavenly Corpse sect? Xian Zhong's expression changed. Nonsense. Of course we met. If it wasn't for Lord Lu Ming, you wouldn't have been able to see me. Let me introduce you. This is Lord Lu Ming, the Ditian Divine Guard. Lord Lu Ming is a peerless genius. Those corpse guards were killed by Lord Lu Ming in a few moves. This is the first time I've seen such a powerful genius. Xian Xiang stood beside Lu Ming and introduced him to everyone with a look of admiration. However, he didn't see the cold glint in Xian Zhong's eyes. Ditian Divine Guards? Don't be deceived by him. Perhaps he's the Heavenly Corpse sex member who's intentionally trying to get close to you. You also know that the Heavenly Corpse sex members have been appearing more and more frequently around the weapon forging sect recently. Xian Zhong cast an unfriendly glance at Lu Ming and said coldly. You're talking nonsense. Lord Lu Ming is so powerful, so he must be a genius among the Ditian Divine Guards. Moreover, he killed so many corpse guards in a few moves. If he's from the Heavenly Corpse sect, why would he kill so many corpse guards? Moreover, those disgusting guys from the Heavenly Corpse sect are all so ugly. How can they be as good-looking as Lord Lu Ming? Xian Xiang retorted loudly. At the side, Lu Ming smiled bitterly. Profound Fragrance was really innocent and simple-minded. It was obvious that Xianzhong was interested in Xianxiang. However, Xianxiang still praised Lu Ming. This made Xianzhong even more unhappy. As expected, Xianzhong's face turned even gloomier. A trace of killing intent flashed across his eyes as he looked at Lu Ming and said, "Lu Ming, right? Now that I've arrived, we'll be returning to the weapon forging sect. Please leave." In other words, he wanted Lu Ming to leave. "Hey Xianzhong, how can you be like this? Lord Lu Ming saved my life before. Moreover, he has something to do at the weapon forging sect to see my father. He'll be coming back with us." Xianxiang's small face immediately sank, and she said somewhat unhappily, "He's also going to the weapon forging sect? No, what if this person has any evil intentions?" Xianzhong said with a gloomy expression. "This is my divine guard token, do you want to take a look?" Before Xianzhong could finish his sentence, Lu Ming interrupted him and took out the divine guard token. Lu Ming had gone to the weapon forging sect to ask for the 1,000 refined blood gold. He could not be bothered to waste his breath on Xianzhong. Seeing Lu Ming take out the divine guard token, Xianzhong's face turned even gloomier. The weapon forging sect was a subsidiary sect of the Emperor Sky Divine Palace. Since Lu Ming was really an Emperor Sky Divine Guard, Xianzhong had no reason not to let Lu Ming join the weapon forging sect. "Humph, I told you that Lord Lu Ming is a genius among the Ditian Divine Guards, but someone didn't believe me. Humph." Xianxiang coldly snorted. This made Xianzhong's face even uglier. "Go. Let's go back to the weapon forging sect." Xianzhong waved his hand and left with his men. The group continued to head north. On the way, Xianxiang followed Lu Ming and chatted with him. From Xianxiang, Lu Ming learned that Xianzhong was the only son of the weapon forging sect's great elder. He was also the #1 genius among the younger generation of the weapon forging sect. At the age of 28, he had already reached the lower tier of the Lever 4 Martial King realm. Lu Ming nodded. Even in the Emperor Sky Divine Palace, where geniuses were as common as clouds, such talent would be considered superior. Lu Ming could also tell that Xianxiang had some feelings for Xianzhong. Of course, Lu Ming did not think that Xianxiang liked him. Xianxiang was just a simple-minded girl who idolized the strong. It was her first time seeing a genius like Lu Ming. Naturally, she idolized him and was very curious. However, this was not love. At the front, Xianzhong's face turned even gloomier when he saw Xianxiang and Lu Ming chatting so happily. Killing intent kept flashing in his eyes. They chatted as they traveled. Not long after, they had flown 10,000 miles. In front of him, a huge and majestic mountain appeared. This was the weapon forging sect. Following profound fragrance, they entered the weapon forging sect and arrived at the peak of the mountain. "Miss Xianxiang, young Master Xianzhong, you're back." The sect master and the elders just happened to be discussing matters in the meeting hall. "I'll go and inform them." A white-haired old man appeared in front of them and said, "And all right. Grandpa Zhang, please tell my father that this Ditian Divine Guard, Lu Ming, of the Ditian Divine Palace, has something to see him about." Xianxiang nodded. "Oh, okay." The white-haired old man nodded and went to the meeting hall. Chapter 552. 552 The conflict caused by the 1,000 refined blood gold. Not long after, the white-haired old man returned. "Oh, Miss Xuanxiang, the sect master wants you to go in," the old man said. Immediately Lu Ming, Xianxiang, and Xianzhong followed the old man into the room. As for the others, they all dispersed. Following the old man, they passed through a few checkpoints and arrived at a large hall. 8 people were sitting in the hall. Sitting at the top was a middle-aged man with a square face and an extremely burly figure. "Father." The moment Xianxiang entered, she called out with a smile. This burly man was the sect master of the weapon forging sect, Xianlong. "I heard that you were ambushed by the corpse guards of the Sky Corps sect. Are you all right? You little girl, I told you not to run around, but you didn't listen." Xianlong got up from his seat and walked down. He carefully sized up Xianxiang and scolded with a smile. Obviously, Xianlong had already received the news that Xianxiang and the others had encountered the corpse guards. "Father, your daughter's luck is as good as the heavens. and I will naturally have the help of a noble. Come, let me introduce you. This is Lu Ming, a peerless genius among the Detian Divine Guards. Those corpse guards are completely powerless against Lord Lu Ming. Any lower-tier king tier is completely useless. Xianxiang pulled Xianlong's arm and said with a smile. Then, she looked at Lu Ming and introduced him. Xianlong and the rest laughed. They were not too concerned about how powerful Lu Ming was. Lu Ming looked to be around 20 years old. Even if he was a genius among the Detian Divine Guards, how strong could his cultivation and combat strength be? It was already amazing to be able to reach level 4 Martial King realm. To them, profound fragrance was simple and didn't go out often. They were just a little excited to suddenly see a pretty good genius. However, Lu Ming was the Detian Divine Guard after all. Some rules could not be ignored. Lu Ming, thank you for saving me this time. Xianlong cupped his fists. You're too kind, Grandmaster Xian. It's just a small matter. Lu Ming replied with a bow. I heard that little brother is looking for me. I wonder what is it? Xianlong said. Grandmaster Xian, it's like this, Elder Huang asked me to come. Lu Ming did not beat around the bush. He took out the small pagoda that Elder Huang had given him. Elder Huang. This time not only Xianlong, but the other people in the hall also had a slight change in their expressions. It's really old Huang. Xianlong sized up the pagoda, his face filled with respect. He could not help but think more highly of Lu Ming. From what he knew, the small tower was Elder Huang's token and he would not give it to others easily. However, he had given it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's status in Elder Huang's heart was not low. Back then, Elder Huang had done me a great favor, and even the weapon forging sect a great favor. It's a pity that it's been more than 20 years and Elder Huang has never visited the weapon forging sect. May I know why you've called little brother over this time? Xianlong's tone was much more polite as he asked. It's nothing big. Elder Huang wants to refine a spirit weapon, and is lacking in materials. He asked me to come here to see if I can ask for a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold from the sect master. Lu Ming said. 1,000 refined blood gold. Xianlong and the others' faces changed again. 1,000 refined blood gold. You want the 1,000 refined blood gold? Impossible. I can't give you the 1,000 refined blood gold. A voice was heard. It was Xianzhong. At this moment, Xianzhong's expression was unusually ugly. Little brother Lu was entrusted by Elder Huang to come here. What's a mere 1,000 refined blood gold worth? Little brother Lu, a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold is not a problem. Xianlong said. Sect master. There's only one piece of 1,000 refined blood gold left in the sect. You said that it was for me. How can you give it to him now? Xianzhong shouted again. Not bad. At this moment, a man in his 50s with a long beard stood up and said, Sect master, since we agreed to leave it for Zhong, then it's his. We can't just give it to him because of old Huang's words. If old Huang wants it, that's fine. We'll forge another piece of 1,000 refined blood gold in a few years, and I'll personally deliver it to old Huang. This long-bearded man was the great elder of the weapon forging sect and also Xianzhong's father, Xian Yuan. Xianlong frowned and said, Elder Huang has not only helped me but also all of you. Without him we wouldn't be where we are today. I haven't repaid this favor for many years. Since Elder Huang has asked for it, there must be an urgent need for it. I have no reason to refuse. I have made up my mind. This 1,000 refined blood gold will be given to Brother Lu. As for Xianzhong, you can wait a few years. No, sect master, I'm not convinced. Xianzhong shouted, who knows where this kid came from? Who knows if he was summoned by some old Huang? Even if he is, who does he think he is? What right does he have to take my 1,000 refined blood gold? Impossible. I won't agree to this. Xianzhong, that piece of 1,000 refined blood gold is not yours yet. Previously, father only said that he wanted to give it to you, but it was only on purpose. At this moment, Xianxiang glared at Xianzhong. Yangxiang, even you are. Good, very good. Good, Xianzhong said. He then looked at Lu Ming with a gloomy expression. Kid, I don't care who you are or who asked you to come. Treasures belong to the capable. If you want the 1,000 refined blood gold, fine. But let's see what you're capable of. I heard you're very strong. Come fight me. If you can defeat me, I'll give you the 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. He did not expect that asking for a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold would cause such a situation. It seemed that the 1,000 refined blood gold's value was beyond his imagination. Lu Ming felt a little embarrassed. Brother Xian, there's no need for a competition. How about this? I'll buy this 1,000 refined blood gold with spiritual crystals. What do you think? Buy it with crystals? Alright, I'll sell it to you as long as you can give me 10 million top-quality spiritual crystals. Xianzhong said with a cold smile. Xianlong frowned. Lu Ming also frowned. Xianzhong. Xianxiang glared at Xianzhong. You're obviously making things difficult for me. How can a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold cost 10 million supreme-grade spirit crystals? Xianzhong gritted his teeth and looked away from Xianxiang. He looked at Lu Ming with contempt and said, "What's wrong? Kid, you don't have any crystals and you don't dare to fight? What genius of the Ditian Divine Guards? Bullshit, you can only deceive Xiangxiang, who is relatively innocent. Now show your true form. In my opinion, that old Huang who called you here is also a fake." Lu Ming frowned. Seeing that Lu Ming did not say anything, Xianzhong became even more aggressive. "Brat, if you kneel down and apologize now, then get lost. I'll forgive you for deceiving me this time." "That's enough, Xianzhong. Little brother Lu has Elder Huang's token. It can't be fake. In the Tianxian region, no one can get Elder Huang's token if he doesn't want it." Xianlong scolded. Chapter 553. 553 A Contest. Sectmaster, in my opinion, the reason why Elder Huang called a young man here is to test him. Let the young people solve their own problems. We should not interfere. Oh, Xian Yuan said. All right. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly spoke and looked at Xianzhong. Since you want to fight, I'll accompany you. All right, I've been waiting for you to say that. Let's have a battle outside. Seeing that Lu Ming had accepted the challenge, a cold glint flashed in Xianzhong's eyes. He strode outside. Lu Ming followed closely behind. Xianlong sighed and walked out of the hall with the other elders. This Xianzhong, humph, he's really detestable. Xianxiang coldly snorted. Outside the main hall was a wide square, just right for a battle. Lu Ming and Xianzhong stood opposite each other. Brother Xian, you and I will stop here, how about it? Lu Ming said. After all, he was the one who had come to the weapon forging sect to ask for the 1,000 refined blood gold. Therefore, Lu Ming still felt a little embarrassed. Stop? Hee, on the battlefield weapons have no eyes. If you're afraid, then quickly admit defeat. Xianzhong's aura was overbearing. Lu Ming frowned again. Buzz. An NBSP whoosh. Oh. At this moment, Xianzhong's aura exploded. At the same time, runes appeared on his palm. With a wave of his hand, 5 spirit weapons appeared. These 5 spirit weapons were all different. There were 2 swords, a saber, a spear, and a dagger. Kill! Xianzhong hollered and pounced towards Lu Ming. At the same time, the 5 spirit weapons also rushed towards Lu Ming. Buzz! An NBSP whoosh! Oh! The 5 spirit weapons flew in different directions and headed for Lu Ming's 5 vital points. His attacks were sharp and vicious. It didn't seem like a sparring session, but more like a battle on the battlefield. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. With a flash of his body, he dodged a few spirit weapons and appeared in another direction. You want to hide? In your dreams die. Xianzhong's eyes were filled with vicious killing intent. He waved his hands and the 5 spirit weapons continued to attack Lu Ming at lightning speed. The weapon forging sect's method of controlling weapons was truly amazing. Lu Ming cast his movement technique and wanted to avoid it. At this moment, Xianzhong's face revealed a trace of ruthlessness as he shook his sleeves. Whoosh! 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 More than 10 sharp air-piercing sounds were heard. More than 10 sharp steel needles flew out from Xianzhong's sleeves and pierced toward Lu Ming's eyes at an extreme speed. Xianzhong, you're despicable. Xianxiang shouted. Damn it! Xianlong also roared, but it was too late to save him. At this moment, Xianlong was filled with regret. If he had known this would happen, he would have given Lu Ming the 1,000 refined blood gold and asked him to return to the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. If Lu Ming were to die in Xianzhong's hands, he really did not know how to explain it to Elder Huang. You're pushing it. At this moment Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. Boom! Then, a terrifying aura burst out from Lu Ming's body. A huge spear's gleam shot up from Lu Ming's body, stirring up the wind and clouds. The dozen or so steel needles exploded into powder the moment they touched the spear radiance. Boom! Lu Ming waved one hand and a huge spear ray swept toward Xianzhong. Bang! Bang! The 5 spirit weapons were hit by the spear light and flew thousands of meters away. The huge spear light continued to attack Xianzhong. This. Xianzhong was completely stunned. In front of Lu Ming's terrifying aura, he was like a pitiful worm. Stop! The first elder Xian Yuan roared. However, would Lu Ming give a damn about him? Bang! The spear light hit Xianzhong's body directly and sent him flying. He glided for 1,000 meters on the square and spurted out blood. Of course, Lu Ming had deliberately shown mercy and only used 10% of his strength. Otherwise, Xianzhong would have been blasted into smithereens. Zhong Xian Yuan hurriedly rushed over to check on Xianzhong's injuries. What powerful combat strength! He's only at the early stage of the Level 4 Martial King realm, but his combat strength should be equivalent to the late stage of the Level 5 Martial King realm, or even the peak of the Level 5 Martial King realm. Not bad. He's so young, yet he has such a cultivation and combat strength, as expected of a genius among the Empyrean Sky Divine Guards. Xianzhong's defeat was not unjustified. The elders of the weapon forging sect discussed animatedly as they marveled at the sight. Xianzhong was also at the early stage of the Level 4 Martial King realm, but he could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. If they knew that Lu Ming had only used 10% of his strength, he wondered what kind of expressions they would have. Humph, I told you that Lord Lu Ming is a peerless genius. Xianzhong just wouldn't listen. He's getting beaten up now. Xianxiang snorted coldly and walked over to look at Xianzhong with a stern face. Xianzhong's injuries were not serious. He stood up and looked at Lu Ming in shock. However, a cold killing intent still flashed in the depths of his eyes, but he concealed it. All right, since little brother Lu has won, that piece of 1,000 refined blood gold belongs to little brother Lu. Xianlong announced. He then looked at Lu Ming and smiled. Little brother Lu, the 1,000 refined blood gold is still being nurtured in the demonic beast's blood pool. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to take it out. Why don't you stay in the weapon forging sect for a night, and I'll give you the 1,000 refined blood gold tomorrow. It's fine. Thank you, Sect Master Xian. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Then Xianlong got someone to arrange a room for Lu Ming. Lord Lu Ming, I'll show you around. There are some fun places in the weapon forging sect. Xianxiang laughed. All right. Lu Ming smiled and nodded. The weapon forging sect was indeed a major weapon forging sect. There were places and secret rooms for weapon forging everywhere. Lu Ming followed Xianxiang and wandered around with great interest. As for Xianxiang, she was also very curious and kept asking questions. Since she was young, Xianxiang had always been active within tens of thousands of miles of the weapon forging sect. She had never gone far, and was very curious about the outside world. Lu Ming had a good impression of Xianxiang. Although Xianxiang was a few years older than Lu Ming, she was like a naughty little sister in front of Lu Ming. Therefore, Lu Ming would briefly explain what he could say. It was not until evening that Lu Ming parted with Xianxiang and returned to his residence. After that, he entered the Supreme Shrine and placed the Path Understanding Ancient Tree by his side. Lu Ming continued to comprehend the creation of wind. In the drawing room of the first elder of the weapon forging sect, 3 figures were seated. One of them was the great elder Xian Yuan, and the other was Xianzhong. The last one was a burly man in his 30s. Father, I'll definitely take my revenge. I'll definitely kill that little bastard Lu Ming. Xianzhong roared, his eyes filled with hatred. Don't worry that little bastard. I don't care if he's old Huang's man or not, he must die. Xianyuan's eyes were also cold. Father, when are we going to execute that plan? Xianzhong asked. You finally thought it through? Are we going to execute that plan? Xianyuan said. Humph, I couldn't bear to part with that bitch Xianxiang in the past. But now, that bitch has only seen that little bastard Lu Ming for a short time and she's already flirting with him all day long. Damn it, all of you deserve to die. Xianzhong shouted coldly. Chapter 554. 554. A vicious scheme. It's good that you've thought it through. How can you be hindered by love when you're doing great things? Oh. Xianyuan nodded and continued. The Heavenly Corpse sect only used 300 years to expand to its current strength. It's extremely powerful. In my opinion, it won't be long before the Heavenly Corpse sect's strength surpasses the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The Weapon Forging sect and the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace are bound together. They will be destroyed by the Heavenly Corpse sect sooner or later. How can we die with the Weapon Forging sect? Now the Heavenly Corpse sect has taken a fancy to a treasure in the Weapon Forging sect. They're going to start taking action soon. At that time we'll work with the Heavenly Corpse sect from the inside and defeat the Weapon Forging sect with one strike. We'll be the Heavenly Corpse sect's heroes. A few more days? But Lu Ming, that little bastard, will be leaving after he gets the 1,000 refined blood gold tomorrow. Xianzhong said. How about this? After Lu Ming leaves tomorrow, ask your senior brother to go with you. Kill Lu Ming on the way and take back the 1,000 refined blood gold. Xianyuan said. Yes, master. The strong man in his 30s responded. Haha, good. Senior brother's cultivation has already reached the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. With senior brother's help, it's more than enough to kill Lu Ming. Xianzhong laughed. Immediately after, the few of them began to conspire again. The night passed quickly. The next day Xianlong sent a messenger. Considering that Lu Ming had been back in Tianxian City for a long time, and the 1,000 refined blood gold was not used for a long time, Xianlong and the rest planned to inscribe a layer of seal on the 1,000 refined blood gold to seal its spirituality so that it would not lose its spirituality over time. Therefore it would take some time. It would probably be in the evening. Lu Ming nodded. He did not care and continued to wait. As expected, in the evening, Xianlong asked someone to bring Lu Ming to the meeting hall. He came to the meeting hall and saw Xianlong and Xianxiang. There were only the two of them here. Little brother, sorry to keep you waiting. That's the 1,000 refined blood gold, Xianlong said with a smile, after which, he pointed to the middle of the hall and said, You're too kind, Sect Master Xian. Lu Ming said, then looked to the middle of the hall. In the middle of the hall there was a piece of dark red metal. This piece of metal had been polished until it was squarish, with a length, width, and height of 1/2 meter. On it there were thousands of veined patterns that looked like tree rings. There was a layer of inscriptions shining on the surface of the 1,000 refined blood gold. It must have been an inscription formation set up by Xianlong and the others to prevent the loss of its spirituality. This was the 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming walked over to pick it up and his expression changed slightly. This 1,000 refined blood gold was extremely heavy. Little brother, the 1,000 refined blood gold is forged using the Weapon Forging sect's secret technique. It needs to be forged 1,000 times, and each time, precious metals and demon beast blood essence are added. After 3 years, this piece of 1,000 refined blood gold weighs 99,900 jin. Xianlong laughed and was quite proud. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. This piece of 1,000 refined blood gold weighed almost 1 million pounds. Moreover, the process was so complicated, which showed how precious it was. Lu Ming expressed his gratitude once again. He then kept the 1,000 refined blood gold in his storage ring. Lord Lu Ming, please come to the Weapon Forging sect more often in the future. I still have many questions to ask you. Xianxiang said with some reluctance. All right. Lu Ming smiled faintly. You little girl, you only think about going out and adventuring all day, but you don't know how dangerous it is outside. Xianlong laughed and scolded. Grandmaster Xian, Miss Xianxiang, take care. If there's a chance, come find me in Tianxian City. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bade farewell to Xianlong and Xianxiang. He then left the weapon forging sect and soared into the sky, flying in the direction of Tianxian City. He had finally obtained the 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming could not wait to rush back to Tianxian City, so that he could go into seclusion to comprehend the concept of wind. Once his wind mentality reached level 1 small success, it would be on par with the thunder and fire mentality. Then, his cultivation would be able to continue improving. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of miles had been covered. At this time, the sky had completely darkened. Whoosh! All of a sudden, a pale white saber gleam in front of him slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. His body flashed and he dodged the saber gleam. In front of them, two figures appeared, walking in the air and walking towards them. Xian Zhong. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. One of them was Xian Zhong, while the other was a brawny man in his 30s. Hey Lu Ming, let's see where you can run to now. Go to hell. The 1,000 refined blood gold is mine. Xian Zhong sneered. Xian Zhong, you really don't want to give up. I originally wanted to spare your life for Xianxiang's sake, but you just had to come to die. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. You're talking big. My father sent a senior brother here, so you're dead. Also, don't mention that bitch Xianxiang in front of me. That bitch is just a bitch. And that old man Xianlong, in 2 days I want them all dead. Xian Zhong's face was extremely ferocious. What do you want to do to sect Master Xian and the others? Lu Ming's face changed as he chided. Hee, what are you doing? When you're all in hell, you can discuss it together. Senior brother, kill him. Xian Zhong roared. Bang! Bang! The brawny man was walking in the void, exuding an extremely powerful aura. Every step he took in the void made a banging sound. Peak level 6 Martial King Realm. Lu Ming's expression changed. Haha, Lu Ming, my senior brother has reached the peak of the 6th level Martial King Realm. He's only one step away from breaking through to the King tier upper tier. Accept your death. Xian Zhong laughed excitedly. Die! The brawny man shouted as his muscles bulged and he slashed out. The saber ray was mighty, and the air in the sky was split in half, bringing with it a gust of wind. In an instant, the terrifying saber light was about to hit Lu Ming's head. At this moment, a long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and he held it horizontally above his head. Clang! The saber radiance struck the spear shaft, and energy shot out in all directions. However, Lu Ming's body was like an archaic divine mountain. He did not move an inch. You! Xian Zhong's and the brawny man's faces changed dramatically. Peak level 6 Martial King Realm? He. Lu Ming sneered and stepped forward with his long spear in hand. Mountain-splitting slash. The brawny man roared and slashed again with all his strength. This slash was twice as powerful as the previous one. This was the brawny man's most powerful attack. But the next moment he was in despair. Lu Ming swept his long spear and the saber gleam collapsed, turning into nothingness. Not good, junior brother, run. The brawny man's expression turned extremely ugly as he roared. Whoosh! Lu Ming became one with the spear and cast a Gakudo path attack. The spear's gleam flashed and blood shot out. The brawny man's glabella was pierced through. Then, the devouring power burst out and devoured the brawny man's blood essence. No, how could this be? Xian Zhong was so frightened that he almost cried. He ran madly towards the weapon forging sect. Lu Ming was simply a monster. Even a peak level 6 Martial King Realm expert was easily killed by him. He was not human at all. Chapter 555. 555 Returning to the weapon forging sect. With his cultivation, how could he escape? Oh! Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared behind him. The spear hit Xian Zhong's shoulder. His body was sent flying like a meteorite. Boom! Instantly, a huge pit with a diameter of dozens of meters appeared on the ground. Xian Zhong was lying in the pit, blood spurting out of his mouth. Lu Ming appeared at the edge of the pit and looked at Xian Zhong coldly. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I beg you to let me go. Xianzhong struggled to get up and kept begging for mercy. He was so scared that he was trembling. Now, his life was in Lu Ming's hands. He felt that he was drowning in endless fear. You just said that in 2 days Grandmaster Xian and the others will all die. What did you mean? Lu Ming asked coldly. No, nothing. I was just talking nonsense. Xianzhong shook his head hurriedly. If you don't want to tell me, then you can die. Lu Ming's eyes were dazed and his killing intent burst out. No, wait, I'll talk. Xianzhong screamed. Lu Ming looked at him coldly. Xianzhong's face was covered in cold sweat. The Heavenly Corpse sect wants to snatch a treasure from the weapon forging sect. That treasure is with Xianlong. My father has already contacted the Heavenly Corpse sect. They will launch a surprise attack in 2 days and break through the weapon forging sect. What? You're actually colluding with the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming was greatly shocked. I've told you everything I know. Please let me go. Xianzhong looked at Lu Ming with great apprehension. Now he only wanted to save his life. He didn't care about anything else. I'll spare you. Go and plead with Grandmaster Xian and the others. Lu Ming waved his hand and a stream of vital essence surged into Xianzhong's body, sealing his vital essence. Then he carried Xianzhong and flew back to the weapon forging sect. Xianzhong's face paled in fear. Not long after, they arrived at the weapon forging sect. Someone wants to kill me. Someone wants to harm the weapon forging sect. Right at this moment, Xianzhong's crazy shout echoed far in the silent night. Who is it? Buzz. An NBSP whoosh. Oh. Immediately, dozens of experts flew out from various parts of the weapon forging sect. Deacon Pang, this kid wants to kill me. He wants to steal the treasure of our weapon forging sect. Xianzhong shouted, his face was filled with ruthlessness. It's Xianzhong. What? Brat, you're looking for death. The people from the weapon forging sect bellowed in anger and launched attacks at Lu Ming. Get out of my way. I have no ill intentions. I have something important to see Grandmaster Xian. Lu Ming shouted. Don't listen to his nonsense. He's up to no good. Quickly kill him. Xianzhong shouted. He was going all out. When he saw Xianlong and the others, he would not be able to live if he was exposed. He might as well take a gamble now. As long as the people from the weapon forging sect killed Lu Ming, he might still have a chance of survival. Kill. The people from the weapon forging sect charged at Lu Ming in a frenzy. Get lost. Lu Ming bellowed angrily. He swept his spear and dozens of weapon forging sect experts were sent flying. Lu Ming moved and dashed toward the depths of the weapon forging sect. Help! Xianzhong shouted. Shut up. If you scream again, I'll kill you. Lu Ming shouted angrily. Go ahead and kill. You're going to die anyway. Just kill. Xianzhong made up his mind and shouted. Buzz. An NBSP whoosh. Oh. At this moment, another person was charging towards them. This time, all of them were Martial King Realm experts. Lu Ming could not be bothered to explain. He sent them all flying and rushed over. Very soon, he was approaching the meeting hall of the weapon forging sect. Little thief, you're looking for death. At this moment, a cold voice was heard. Then, a few sharp attacks were launched at Lu Ming. They were 2 battle blades. Father, save me. Upon hearing this voice, Xianzhong was overjoyed. Clang! Clang! Lu Ming exerted all his strength and swept his long spear horizontally, blocking the attack of the 2 sabers. However, his body shook violently and he could not help but retreat 1,000 meters. A late-stage king tier. Lu Ming's expression changed. In front of him, Xian Yuan appeared with a few spirit weapons floating beside him. Xian Yuan's face was extremely cold. He pounced on Lu Ming like lightning without the slightest hesitation. With a wave of his hand, the 2 sabers turned into 2 cold electric arcs and slashed at Lu Ming. At the same time, there was a flash of light and 3 long spears appeared. They pierced through the void and stabbed toward Lu Ming. His first attack was like a storm. When Xianyuan saw that Xianzhong had fallen into Lu Ming's hands, he had a bad feeling. He had to kill Lu Ming with lightning-fast methods. 10,000 dragon kill. The spear shook, and hundreds of three-colored true dragons flew out roaring. On average, each spirit weapon was attacked by close to 100 three-colored true dragons. Break! Die! Xianyuan shouted coldly as he controlled the spirit weapon. A terrifying aura burst out from the spirit weapon. Bang! Bang! The three-colored true dragons exploded one by one and turned into nothingness. The 5 spirit weapons did not stop as they attacked Lu Ming. Lu Ming brandished his long spear in an airtight manner and blocked the 5 spirit weapons. Clang! 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 Although the 5 spirit weapons were blocked, the terrifying qi tore through Lu Ming's defense and almost tore his body apart. He retreated a few thousand meters again and spat out a mouthful of blood. A king tier of the upper tier of the Level 7 Martial King realm is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes were solemn. He had sensed that Xianyuan's cultivation was at Level 7 Martial King realm. Still not dead, kill. Xianyuan shouted angrily. Lu Ming's combat strength had exceeded his expectations. Xianyuan, if you want your son to die, then continue to attack. Lu Ming blocked Xianzhong in front of him and shouted, "Father, father, save me!" Xianzhong shouted in fear. Xianyuan's expression kept changing. In the next moment, his eyes suddenly turned cold and a hint of determination flashed in them. With a wave of his hands, the 5 spirit weapons turned into 5 bolts of lightning and shot toward Lu Ming. 2 spirit weapons charged at Xianzhong. "No, no!" Xianzhong roared. How ruthless! In order to silence him, he even killed his own son. Lu Ming's expression changed. He used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and retreated rapidly. Stop! Just at this moment a cold shout rang out, and a few spirit weapons streaked across the void and collided with Xianyuan's spirit weapon. Clang! Clang! The sound of violent collisions resounded through the sky as Xianyuan's spiritual weapons bounced back one by one. A figure appeared in the sky. It was Xianlong. Buzz! An NBSP whoosh! Oh! The other elders of the weapon forging sect followed closely behind Xianlong. Xianxiang was among them. Lord Lu Ming? What's going on? Xianxiang looked at Lu Ming and the Xianzhong in his hand, feeling extremely puzzled. Sect Master Lu Ming, that little bastard, barged into the weapon forging sect and tried to kill Zhong. Fortunately, I found out about it. I suggest that we kill him now. Xianyuan roared, his eyes extremely cold. Haha, Xianyuan, you've done something wrong. Are you afraid that I'll tell you and want to kill me to silence me? Lu Ming laughed heartily. Kid, what are you talking about? Why aren't you dying? Xianyuan's killing intent soared. He controlled the spirit weapon and charged at Lu Ming. Chapter 556. 556. The start of the war. However, Xianlong moved and stood in front of Xianyuan. Oh, I believe that little brother Lu would not attack Xianzhong for no reason. Why don't we hear what exactly happened? Let's make things clear first. Xianlong said. Sect Master. Xianyuan was a little anxious. All right, there's no need to say more. Xianlong waved his hand and said. The gloominess in Xianyuan's eyes intensified. He knew that he could not kill Lu Ming with Xianlong's help. Secretly, he gave a look to one of the elders. The elder nodded slightly and slowly retreated, disappearing into the darkness without anyone noticing. Little brother Lu, what's going on? Xianlong looked at Lu Ming and asked. Yes, Lord Lu Ming, what's going on? Then how is Xianzhong? Xianxiang also asked, looking at the Xianzhong in Lu Ming's hands. Sect Master Xian, when I left the weapon forging sect, I met this Xianzhong with one of his senior brothers. They tried to kill me on the way. Lu Ming said. What? Xianzhong, how dare you? Xianlong roared when he heard that. Xianzhong, you actually did such a thing. Xianxiang also looked at Xianzhong with a face full of disappointment. Xianzhong lowered his head. His eyes were full of dejection, and he didn't say anything. Nonsense. Little bastard, it's clearly you who wanted to kill Zhong. Xian Yuan shouted again. Shut up, old man. If you don't have a fucking brain, do the others have one too? I just barged in from the outside and a group of people saw it. According to what you said, I barged in first and took Xianzhong away. Then I barged in from the outside with Xianzhong and let you block my way? Lu Ming berated loudly. You! Xian Yuan's face turned red. He had just wanted to pin a crime on Lu Ming at the last minute. He did not expect that there would be so many flaws. How could he continue at this moment? Xian Yuan, were you the one who ordered this? Xian Long looked at Xian Yuan with an ugly expression. Wait a minute, Grandmaster Xian. Trying to kill me on the way is a small matter. Just now, I learned something from Xianzhong which is a big matter. Lu Ming said loudly. Xian Yuan's expression changed drastically as soon as he heard this. He slowly retreated. Oh, big event? What's the big deal? Xian Long asked. Great Elder Xian Yuan has already colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect. In 2 days they'll work with the Heavenly Corpse sect and break through the weapon forging sect. Lu Ming said loudly. His words were like a thunderclap that exploded in the minds of everyone from the weapon forging sect. What? What did you just say? Xian Long was in disbelief. The others also looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. This was too shocking. Sect Master Xian, this is what Xianzhong said himself. Lu Ming said. Nonsense. You're slandering him. Sect Master Lu Ming is trying to sow discord between us. I suggest that we kill him immediately. Xian Yuan roared. Xian Yuan, you still dare to quibble until now. However, you are really ruthless. Just now, you even wanted to kill Xianzhong to silence me. He is your biological son. Lu Ming sneered. After that, he said to Xianzhong, Xianzhong, are you still going to help your father hide the truth? He's such an unscrupulous father. When the Heavenly Corpse sect raise the weapon forging sect to the ground, everyone you know will die. What's the point of your life then? Also, there's nothing going on between me and Xianxiang. On the contrary, she told me that she likes you, but you always misunderstand her. Lu Ming's words made Xianzhong's body tremble slightly. He raised his head and looked at Xianxiang. Xianzhong, what happened? Tell me. Xianxiang shouted. Xianzhong's eyes flickered. Then, he looked decisive and said to Xianyuan, Father, let's stop. We've made great contributions to the weapon forging sect for generations. I believe that the sect master and the elders will forgive us. Let's stop. His words were like a sudden clap of thunder. Everyone's eyes turned to Xianyuan. Xianyuan, how dare you? Xianlong roared, his hair and beard all standing up. Evil creature, you're really useless. You can't achieve great things when you're trapped by love. If I had known this earlier, I would have killed you. Xianyuan looked at Xianzhong coldly. Oh. The 7th level of the Martial King realm was considered as a king tier of the upper tier, and its combat strength was 2 levels higher than that of the 6th level. Whoosh! Whoosh! The iron chain flew across the sky and kept attacking Lu Ming. Clang! Clang! At this time 2 combat swords flew over and hit the iron chain away. It was Xianlong who controlled the combat swords to help. Xianlong, you dare to be distracted while fighting with me? You're looking for death. Xianyuan shouted coldly. His combat weapon flew and attacked. Xianlong was distracted and was hit by Xianyuan's spear. A bloody hole appeared on his shoulder. If Xianlong didn't dodge in time, his heart would have been pierced. Father! Xianxiang was shocked and extremely worried. Chi-chi! At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. The middle-aged corpse guard appeared behind Lu Ming and grabbed at him. Lu Ming hurriedly turned around and thrust his spear. This middle-aged corpse guard was also a king tier at the 7th level of the Martial King realm. Although the corpse guard's combat strength was not strong, it was still above Lu Ming. Bang! With one move, Lu Ming's body was sent flying backward. Not good. Lu Ming could not help but let go of Xianxiang's hand. Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately, a few iron chains rolled up the profound incense and pulled it into the distance. I've got the girl. But I'm still short of the recondite steel heavy sword. The old corpse guard sneered. He was also a late-stage king, and he was controlling a refined corpse to kill an elder of the weapon-forging sect. One by one, the elders died under his refined corpse. Fragrance. Xianlong let out a roar and controlled the 3 combat swords to slash at the chain that was holding Xianxiang. However, the refined corpse that had caught Xianxiang was already at the level of a late-stage king. How could Xianlong save it? The iron chain flew out and knocked away the 3 combat swords. You still dare to be distracted? You're looking for death. Xianyuan revealed a cold smile. When Xianlong was distracted, Xianyuan seized the opportunity and attacked him fiercely. Puchi! This time Xianlong's arm was cut off by Xianyuan. The mysterious dragon roared like a wild lion. Haha, the storage ring is mine. Xianyuan was overjoyed, and Xianlong threw the arm to the old corpse guard. Father, father! In the distance, Xianxiang anxiously shouted. Bang! Lu Ming's spear sent a few refined corpses of lower-tier king level flying, and he charged towards Xianlong. Brat, if you want to save people, die. The middle-aged corpse guard controlled a refined corpse to block Lu Ming's way. Damn you, Dandan, smash! Lu Ming patted Dandan. Buzz! Dandan flew out, rapidly growing in size, and smashed towards the middle-aged corpse guard's face. Bang! The middle-aged corpse guard couldn't avoid it at all and was directly smashed in the face. Ah! He screamed in pain. His face was almost smashed. He retreated frantically and controlled the refined corpse to block in front of him. Such a meticulous mind. Lu Ming felt that it was a pity. Originally, he wanted to use Dandan's sneak attack to kill a king-level corpse guard, but this corpse guard immediately controlled the refined corpse to block in front of him, so he didn't have a chance. Lu Ming dashed past and charged at Xianlong. At this moment, Xuanxiang was surrounded by a pile of refined corpses. She wanted to save him, but she had no chance. At this moment, Xianlong was in a critical situation. One of his arms had been cut off. He was no match for Xianyuan and was at a disadvantage. Boom! Lu Ming's momentum was like a rainbow. He was practically invincible under the level of a king tier. No corpse guard or refined corpse could stop him. This kid is looking for death. The old corpse guard's eyes were cold. He controlled a refined corpse at the level of a king and charged at Lu Ming. At the same time, he rushed toward Xianlong. Not good. A Gakudo path attack. Lu Ming became one with his spear and turned into a ray of spear light. The refined corpse and corpse guards in front of him were all sent flying. Lu Ming's figure flashed and appeared not far from the Xianlong. But at this time, the old corpse guard and Xianyuan had already surrounded and attacked Xianlong. Xianlong was already no match for him. Now that he was besieged, he was hit again and was covered in blood. Dandan smash! Lu Ming shouted. Die! The old corpse guard's claw clawed towards the profound dragon's heart. Chapter 558. 558 Destruction Promise. Bang! Oh! The first one that was hit was Xianyuan. Arg! Xianyuan screamed. Even a late-stage king was smashed by Dandan. His face was smashed into pieces. How could Xianlong let go of this opportunity? Die, traitor! Xianlong controlled the 3 combat swords and slashed at Xianyuan. Clang! Clang! In a panic, Xianyuan only managed to block 2 swords, but he failed to block the third. The third combat sword slashed over and cut off Xianyuan's head. A late-stage king was killed just like that. But at the same time, the old corpse guard's claw pierced through Xianlong's chest and crushed his heart. Damn it, Dandan, smash! Lu Ming bellowed and smashed the old corpse guard's face. The old corpse guard screamed and quickly retreated, but he was still smashed by Dandan, and his face was beyond recognition. Buzz! Lu Ming rushed over, grabbed Xianlong and broke through rapidly. At the same time, he used his true energy to sweep Xianyuan's body into the supreme shrine. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming swept his long spear and the refined corpses were swept away one by one. He then charged out at high speed. Damn it! Stop him! Stop him! I want him dead! The old corpse guard screamed and controlled the refined corpse to surround them. This time, the heavenly corpse sect had moved ahead of schedule and only sent 2 king tiers of the upper tier. There were no king tiers of the upper tier in the direction that Lu Ming was breaking out of. There were no king tiers at the level of the upper tier. Those below the level of a king tier could not withstand Lu Ming's attack. The refined corpses were sent flying like sandbags. Gakudo-path attack. In the end, Lu Ming cast a Gakudo-path attack and rushed out 5 miles away. Then he took a deep breath, circulated his true essence, and took a step forward, appearing 10 miles away. Chase, chase! The old corpse guard roared and controlled the king-level refined corpse to chase after him. However, Lu Ming's 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps continued and he was far away in an instant. A few minutes later, Lu Ming had already covered a distance of nearly 10,000 miles. Xianlong kept coughing out blood and his face was as pale as paper. Lu Ming chose a hidden place and landed. He placed Xianlong on the ground. "Little brother Lu, I'm begging you. You must save Xiangxiang." The profound dragon transformation coughed up blood as he spoke. His heart had been crushed, and he had only managed to hold on because of his powerful body and profound cultivation. If it had been an ordinary person, he would have died from such injuries. "Grandmaster Xian, I'll help you heal." Lu Ming placed his palm on Xianlong's back. A vast amount of vital essence gushed into Xianlong's body. Lu Ming's vital essence was the War Dragon vital essence. It was very effective. Xianlong's face regained some color. "Little brother, don't waste your Zhenyuan. Your heart has exploded. There's nothing you can do." "Little brother, I have a few things to tell you." Xianlong panted. "Please speak, Sect Master Xian." Lu Ming said. "If I'm not wrong, the Heavenly Corpse sect seized the Xian family's black iron heavy sword and then kidnapped Xiangxiang. They must have gone to the eastern barren city, opened the barren ancient tomb in the city, and taken out the corpse in the tomb to refine it into a peerless refined corpse. They must have gone to the east. Little brother, I beg you, please help me save Xiangxiang." After saying that, Xianlong actually struggled and wanted to kneel down to Lu Ming. "Grandmaster Xian, what are you doing? I promise you I will definitely save Xiangxiang." Lu Ming said firmly. "Good, that's good. Little brother, this storage ring was left to me by Xiangxiang's mother. Can you pass it to him on my behalf?" Xianlong took off his storage ring and passed it to Lu Ming. "Don't worry, Sect Master Xian. Lu Ming will do what he says." Lu Ming took the storage ring and kept it. "Grandmaster Xian, what is your relationship with the ancient barren city?" Lu Ming was a little curious. Lu Ming remembered that the peerless genius of the ancient barren city, Xianfeng, had the same surname as Xianlong and the rest. The Xian family of the weapon forging sect used to be part of the Xian family of the ancient desolate city. They also have 2 recondite steel heavy swords. According to the legends of the Xian family, if the 2 recondite steel heavy swords were to be used together to open the tomb of the ancients, it would be a great disaster for the Xian family. So 10,000 years ago, our branch left the desolate ancient city with the recondite steel heavy sword, and came here to prevent the 2 recondite steel heavy swords from meeting. Unfortunately, the Heavenly Corpse sect still found out about it. They will definitely bring Xiangxiang to the desolate ancient city, and seize the other recondite steel heavy sword. Once the desolate ancient tomb is opened, the Xian family will be finished. Xianlong explained. At this point, Xianlong's life force was getting weaker and weaker. There was no turning back. "Little brother Xiangxiang, I'll leave it to you." In the end, Xianlong said his last words, and his vitality dissipated. He died. AI. Lu Ming sighed. He dug a hole at the side and buried Xianlong. However, there was no tombstone. If the Heavenly Corpse sect found the tombstone, they would probably refine the corpse into a refined corpse. "Don't worry, Grandmaster Xian. Since I've made a promise, I'll do my best to fulfill it." Lu Ming cupped his fists and rose into the air. He retracted his aura and returned to the weapon forging sect. "Quick, take everything you can. Hurry up." As Lu Ming approached the weapon forging sect, he heard shouts. Lu Ming flew high up in the sky and looked down, but he didn't see any trace of Xian Xiang. Not only that, but he also didn't see the 2 corpse guards of the king level. Where did they take the profound fragrance? Lu Ming was deep in thought. After a while, some corpse guards flew towards the north. Lu Ming followed from a distance. They flew at least hundreds of thousands of miles north. In front of them was a huge mountain filled with smoke. Those corpse guards all flew into that huge mountain. Lu Ming stopped a few hundred miles away. He didn't dare to go any further. He guessed that it was one of the heavenly corpse sect's old nests in the Tianxian region. There were definitely many experts inside. It would be dangerous if he got too close and was discovered. Lu Ming found a hidden place and hid himself well. Could profound fragrance have been brought here? Or have they already set off for the east? Lu Ming furrowed his brows in deep thought. I don't care. I will wait here for 2 days. If I still don't see the profound fragrance, I will rush to the east. Dandan, you stay here and keep watch. If there's anything, inform me. I'll cultivate first. Lu Ming placed Dandan on the ground and entered the Supreme Shrine. Xian Yuan's body was on a platform in the Supreme Shrine. Lu Ming did not want to waste the blood essence of a phenomenal success king. The 9-dragon bloodline appeared and devoured Xian Yuan's blood essence. Lu Ming took off Xian Yuan's storage ring. Then he waved his hand and a wisp of flame appeared, burning Xian Yuan's body to ashes. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and began to refine the blood essence of the Xian Yuan. The blood essence of a late-stage king was simply too dense. Lu Ming used all of it to improve his 9-dragon bloodline. 2 hours later, the 6 Esilavira chakras of the 9-dragon bloodline became extremely brilliant. Right then, with a sound of hum, a new chakra appeared. Chapter 559. 559. In the ancient desolate city, a new Esilavira chakra appeared. Oh! The 7th chakra was a 7th level king level bloodline. After refining so much blood essence, his 9-dragon bloodline had finally advanced to the 7th level of the king realm. King level 7, the same as Xian Yanqing's bloodline, had already surpassed most of the geniuses in Tianxian region. It was said that the bloodline of the sacred constellation was at least at the 7th level of the king tier. Other than him, no one had ever reached the 7th level of the king tier in the Tianxian region. An NBSP, hoo-hoo. The bloodline of the 9 dragons opened its mouth and sucked, and its devouring power erupted. It was extremely terrifying. My devouring power has doubled. Even late-stage king tiers would be affected if I use it now. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. As expected, the devouring power had greatly increased after his 9-dragon bloodline reached the 7th level of the king tier. I wonder what kind of changes there will be after advancing to a divine bloodline? Lu Ming thought to himself. It was said that divine-level bloodlines had unimaginable power, mysterious and terrifying. Martial artists, after entering the Spirit Sea realm, would have a 3rd chance to awaken their bloodline. In a warrior's life, he had 3 chances to awaken his bloodline. However, not every warrior could awaken their bloodline 3 times. The 3rd bloodline awakening was completely different from the previous 2. It wasn't fixed but random. It depended on one's comprehension, luck and talent. Some martial artists awakened at the 1st level of the spiritual ocean tier, some at the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean tier, and some at the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. Some were even in the spirit embryo realm. Most people would never be able to awaken a 3rd bloodline in their lifetime. The probability was frighteningly low. Out of 10,000 warriors who broke through to the Sea of Soul realm, only one would be able to awaken the 3rd bloodline. However, once the 3rd bloodline was awakened, it would be terrifying. This was because those who could break through to the Spirit Sea realm usually had a 2nd bloodline that was at least at the 3rd level of the king tier, or even higher. As for the 3rd bloodline, it was definitely of a higher level than the 2nd bloodline. Some people could even awaken a divine bloodline in one go and soar to the sky. However, Lu Ming had the 9 dragons bloodline. Even if he could not awaken a 3rd bloodline in the future, his 2 types of bloodlines could be promoted to divine-level bloodlines in the future. He was filled with anticipation. Take a look at what's happening outside. Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine. Light flickered on Dandan's body, but she didn't seem to move. Continue to wait. Who is that? At that moment Lu Ming saw a few light spots flying east from the distant mountain. However, they were too far away for Lu Ming to see them clearly. Let's go east and take a look. Lu Ming grabbed Dandan and headed east. After about 10,000 miles, Lu Ming slowly approached. It is indeed profound fragrance. In the distance, Lu Ming saw more than a dozen corpse guards with dozens of refined corpses. The woman in the middle was Xian Xiang. These corpse guards did not hide in the coffins, as if afraid of causing unnecessary trouble on the way. After all, if a bunch of coffins were to fly, it would definitely alert others. So many experts. Among the dozen corpse guards, Lu Ming could not see through at least 3 of them. They were definitely all king tiers in the upper tier. 3 corpse guards at the level of a king with at least 6 refined corpses at the level of a king. This was not something Lu Ming could fight against. Lu Ming could only follow them from a distance and wait for an opportunity to make a move. But along the way, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect were extremely cautious. Even when they were resting, there would be a corpse guard at the late-stage king level guarding by Xian Xiang's side. Lu Ming could not do it at all. Just like that, more than 10 days passed and they were getting closer and closer to the east. The ancient desolate city had always been extremely mysterious in the eastern part of the Tianqian region. This was because there was a legend that said that the ancient desolate city did not belong to this world, and was not built by the people of this world. Instead, it had descended from the sky in the ancient times. There was a mysterious aura in the ancient desolate city. Other ancient martial art practitioners would not be able to cultivate or increase their cultivation if they entered. Only members of the Xian family could cultivate in the ancient barren city. Therefore, there were no outsiders living in the ancient barren city except for the Xian family. There were not many people in the Xian family of the ancient barren city, but once someone was born they would all be peerless geniuses. Today, in the meeting hall of the Xian clan, not only were there people from the Xian clan, there were also people from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The palace masters of fire, earth and thunder were all in the meeting hall of the ancient desolate city. Other than them, there were also some protectors of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. They were all powerful people. Recently, for some unknown reason, more and more people from the Heavenly Corpse sect have been appearing in the eastern part of the Tianqian region. Could it be that the central Tianqian sub-palace is already at a disadvantage? The Earth Palace Master said. Especially in the ancient barren city, the Sky Corpse sect's corpse guards keep coming to harass us, so the Palace Master has sent us to assist. I wonder what the purpose of the Sky Corpse sect is? Thunder Palace Master said with a frown. Could it be that the Heavenly Corpse sect's goal is the desolate ancient tomb? A middle-aged man sitting at the head of the table said with a frown. This man was the city lord of the ancient barren city, and the head of the Xian family. A young man stood beside him. It was Xian Feng. Desolate ancient tomb. Thunder Palace Master and the others revealed doubtful expressions. According to the ancient records of our Xian family, the ancient barren city descended from another world. Along with it was the tomb of the ancients, where the corpses of unparalleled experts were buried. The ancestors of our Xian family entered the tomb by chance and fused with a drop of blood from one of the corpses, which allowed them to cultivate in the ancient barren city. I suspect that the people from the Heavenly Corpse sect wanted to open the desolate ancient tomb and seize the corpses. The master of the Xian family said. There's really such a thing. The Earth Palace Master, Lightning Palace Master, and the others were dumbfounded. In the past he had thought that it was just a rumor. Then we must not let the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect succeed. If they really get their hands on that peerless expert's corpse and refine it into a refined corpse, it will be a great catastrophe. The Earth Palace Master said. Don't be afraid. It's not that easy for them to open the desolate ancient tomb. They need 2 keys. Our desolate ancient city only has 1 key. The other one was taken away by another branch of the Xian family 10,000 years ago and left. The city lord of Barren City said. That's good. The few of them heaved a sigh of relief. A few days ago, the Heavenly Corpse sect would occasionally attack us. But these days they have all gone into hiding. I wonder what their purpose is. The Palace Master of Fire said. No matter what their goal is, we just need to set up our defenses. Thunder Palace Master said. After that, the crowd continued to discuss for a while and then disperse one by one. Only the City Lord of Barren City was frowning. Feng if anything happens, you must escape. Your life is more important. Understand? The ancient Barren City Lord ordered. Father, Xian Feng wanted to say something but stopped. Remember, the Xian family can't end here. This time, I have a bad feeling. The City Lord of Barren City said. For a moment, the hall fell into silence. Chapter 560. 560 The Desolate Ancient Tomb. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. Oh, buzz, buzz. Early in the morning, a series of ear-piercing sounds rang out in the sky. At least 1,000 coffins were flying towards the ancient desolate city from all directions. Not good, the Heavenly Corpse sect has launched an attack. There are so many coffins. Arg! A scream came from within the ancient desolate city and spread throughout the entire city. Prepare to face the enemy. The City Lord of Barren City appeared in the sky and ordered loudly. In the ancient desolate city, there were at least thousands of people running. Buzz, buzz. More than a dozen figures appeared beside the Palace Master of the ancient Barren City. They were the Palace Master of the Thunder Palace, the Palace Master of the Fire Palace, and some other experts of the ancient Barren City. What's going on? Why did the Heavenly Corpse sect launch an attack today? And why did they send so many people? The Palace Master of Earth roared, full of doubt. Perhaps, the person that the Heavenly Corpse sect has been waiting for has arrived. The City Lord of Barren City sighed. What do you mean by the person we're waiting for? Who are they waiting for? Everyone was puzzled. An NBSP. Ka. Thousands of coffins were opened, and corpse guards appeared in the air with refined corpses. City Lord of Desolation City, hand over the recondite steel heavy sword and let us open the Tomb of Desolation. We can consider letting you go. An old corpse guard laughed coldly. In your dreams. Besides, even if you get my recondite steel heavy sword, you won't be able to open the catacomb. The City Lord of Barren City said. Oh really? Do you think we don't know? We've already done our research. There are 2 keys to the desolate ancient tomb. If we don't have them, would we attack rashly? Bring him up. The old corpse guard waved his hand, and a corpse guard appeared with a beautiful young woman. This woman was Xian Xiang. This is the descendant of the branch that left your Xian family 10,000 years ago. We've already obtained the key. As long as we combine the 2 keys, we'll be able to open the desolate ancient tomb. Hand over your black iron heavy sword. The old corpse guard sneered. The expression of the ancient Barren City Lord was extremely ugly. You want me to hand it over? Impossible unless I die. The ancient Barren City Lord roared. You're so stubborn. Since that's the case, kill. The old corpse guard waved his hand and instantly, the corpse guards that covered the sky and the earth controlled the refined corpses, charging towards the ancient desolate city. A tragic battle instantly broke out. Thousands of guards controlled more than 2,000 refined corpses and launched a frenzied attack on the ancient desolate city. Although the Xian family of the ancient Barren City had fewer people, they still had thousands of people. With the addition of the reinforcements from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, they started an intense battle with the Heavenly Corpse sect. Boom! Boom! The Palace Master of Thunder, Palace Master of Fire, Palace Master of Earth, and Palace Master of Desolation City all released extremely powerful auras. They were as dazzling as 4 small suns. With a wave of his hand, dazzling lightning and scorching flames spread in all directions, and dozens of refined corpses were instantly smashed into pieces. For lever 9 Martial King Realm. Good. After killing them, I can make 4 more powerful refined corpses. A sneer was heard. Then, 4 figures pounced on Thunder Palace Master and the others. Among the 4 figures, Two of them were huge demonic beasts. They were demonic corpses, and their bodies emitted extremely powerful auras. Two of them were human corpses, but they were wearing iron armor and holding long spears. They charged towards Thunder Palace Master and the others. These two refined corpses were completely different from the other refined corpses. Thunder Palace Master and the others didn't dare to be careless. They fought with these refined corpses, but for a while it was only a draw. Ah! Ah! From time to time screams could be heard from all over the ancient desolate city. Someone was being killed. Lu Ming was hiding on a mountain peak outside the ancient barren city. There are so many experts. I didn't expect the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace to have so many hall masters. Adding on the strength of the ancient barren city, there are 8 king tiers at the upper tier. Lu Ming sensed the aura in the distance and pondered. In the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, other than the 3 hall masters, there were 2 other late-stage king tiers. The ancient desolate city itself also had 3 late-stage king tiers. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect had clearly come prepared. They had more than 8 king-level corpse guards, and with the refined corpses they controlled, their strength was clearly above that of the ancient barren city. Given Lu Ming's cultivation level, he would not be of much use if he were to participate. I'll just wait and see. I'll grab the opportunity to save Xuanxiang. Lu Ming made up his mind. He hid there, restrained his aura, and remained motionless. As time passed, the battle became even more intense. In the ancient desolate city, people were constantly killed, and the blood qi filled the entire city. The palace master of Thunder Palace and the other late-stage kings were also under even greater pressure. Other than the 4 refined corpses from before, there were even more refined corpses surrounding them. Instantly, they were completely at a disadvantage. Charge! Let's work together and charge out. Thunder Palace Master roared. No, if we rush out, the others will all die. Also, the desolate ancient tomb cannot be opened. The ancient barren city lord roared. We can't care about that now. If we don't rush out, we'll all die. Thunder Palace Master roared. He was starting to regret taking on this mission. And NBSP. But the ancient barren city lord and the fire palace lord simply refused to listen to him. Damn it! The Thunder Palace Master roared. With a wave of his hand, thunder rolled and struck forward. The 2 refined corpses that were besieging him were forced to retreat. He rushed forward trying to break out of the siege. You actually fled in the face of battle. The Palace Master of Fire shouted angrily. A bunch of fools who would be willing to stay here and die. Thunder Palace Master sneered and rushed forward. But, whoosh, whoosh. The iron chains hung in the air and 2 powerful refined corpses appeared, blocking the path of Thunder Palace Master. Behind him, the 2 refined corpses rushed up again. There was no way to retreat. Ah, detestable! Thunder Palace Master roared angrily but was forced back. I've already sent a message to the Palace Master and asked for reinforcements. We just need to hold on for an hour, and the Palace Master will be able to come. The Palace Master of Fire shouted. There's a way. We can retreat to the side of the Tomb of Desolation. Our Xian family has been inscribing inscription formations around the tomb for generations. After so many years, the inscription formations there have become quite powerful. If we retreat there and open the inscription formations, we can definitely hold on for an hour. The City Lord of Barren City said. All right, let's do that. The Palace Masters of Fire and Earth both agreed. The Thunder Palace Master helplessly followed them and charged towards the desolate ancient tomb. Gather, gather. We'll retreat and defend the catacomb together. The City Lord of the Barren City shouted as he retreated. He gathered the remaining members of the Xian family and retreated to the tomb of the Barren Ancients together. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect was trying their best to stop them. There was killing everywhere, and not many people could shake off their opponents and come to meet up. In the end, only 100 or so people made it to the side of the desolate ancient tomb. Activate the formation. The ancient barren city lord roared, his eyes filled with pain. Once they activated the grand array, Then the people from the other parts of the ancient desolate city would only have a dead end. But now they had no choice but to do so. The inscriptions glowed and a light screen appeared in front of the tomb. Chapter 561. 561 Flood Dragon's Corpse. And NBSP. A screen of light appeared, blocking in front of the city lord of Barren City and the others. Oh! Boom! 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 The powerful refined corpses kept bombarding the light curtain. The light curtain trembled but was not broken. It was firmly blocked. Damn it, attack! A late-stage king-level corpse guard roared and ordered the other corpse guards to control the refined corpses to attack. However, the inscription formation was extremely strong and couldn't be broken. City Lord of Desolation City, are you really that heartless? Are you going to hide inside and watch your clansmen get killed? An old corpse guard appeared and sneered. Ah! Ah! Around them there were constant screams from the Xian family. Giggle. The city lord of the barren city clenched his teeth, his eyes filled with tears. Ah, damn it! The other members of the Xian family, such as Xian Feng, who had entered the formation, stared outside with red eyes. Don't kill those Xian family people first. Capture them and bring them here to kill. The old corpse guard ordered. Not long after, the Xian family members were injured one by one and brought to the side of the desolate ancient tomb. City Lord, save me. Some of the more timid ones started to plead. However, the ancient barren city clenched its fists and did not say anything. It was said that once the desolate ancient tomb was opened, there would be a great disaster. Kill. The corpse guard gave the order. Whoosh! Whoosh! The iron chains were like long spears that pierced through the air, killing all the Xian family members. Ah, damn it, damn it! Xian Feng and the others roared. However, not long after, another member of the Xian family was brought over and killed on the spot. Not only the Xian family members, but even the palace master of fire and the others were furious. Open the inscription formation and hand over the recondite steel heavy sword, and we can spare their lives. The corpse guard sneered. Don't even think about it. The ancient barren city lord roared. His eyes were bloodshot and filled with killing intent. All right, let's continue. Then, more people from the Xian family were brought in. Father, father, save me. A loud shout came from a beautiful girl in her 20s. Min-er. The city lord of Barren City shouted. Ha ha ha, so this is your daughter. Good, good. City lord of Barren City, I wonder what kind of experience it would be to let you see your daughter and the heroes of my heavenly corpse sect having fun in public? I'm really looking forward to it. You go. I'll leave this beautiful task to you. The old corpse guard pointed at a pale-faced middle-aged corpse guard and said, Many thanks, elder. The middle-aged corpse guard was ecstatic. His eyes emitted light as he walked towards the beautiful woman. Don't come over. The beautiful woman's face was filled with despair. Bastard, you damn bastard! The palace master of fire roared. Min-er, kill. Run. Xian Feng roared and was about to rush out, but he was pushed back by the city lord of Barren City. Remember, don't let them enter the desolate ancient tomb. Defend the place with the formation and wait for reinforcements. Shut up. The city lord of Barren City shouted at Xian Feng. Then his eyes turned cold and he rushed out of the formation toward Xian Min. Father! Xian Feng roared. You're finally willing to come out? Attack and take him down. The old corpse guard waved his hand, and a few late-stage king tiers controlled the refined corpses to charge at the city lord of the barren city. Kill. The ancient barren city lord's entire body emitted a blazing light. The battle sword in his hand slashed down, and that middle-aged corpse guard was cut into two. With a wave of sword chi, a lever 7 martial king realm refined corpse was cut in half. The city lord's aura was much stronger than before. A secret technique that burns essence, chi, and spirit. Do you want to die? The old corpse guard roared. The burning of essence, chi, and spirit of the city lord of Desolation City was a secret skill of the Xian family. His combat power would increase dramatically, but he would definitely not be able to last for 10 minutes before he died. Min follow father. Father will take you out. The city lord of Barren City said to the beautiful lady. He held her hand and rushed out. Stop him! The old corpse guard roared. Immediately, the experts of the corpse guards made their move. There were 5 refined corpses, equivalent to level 9 Martial King realm, and they charged toward the city lord of the Barren City. Get lost! The ancient Barren City lord held his sword with one hand and his aura was shocking. He slashed out with his sword and a shocking sword radiance burst out. A level 9 Martial King realm demonic corpse was sent flying and was almost cut in half. The secret skill of burning his essence, chi, and spirit had greatly increased the combat power of the city master of Barren City. He was infinitely close to a peak-tier king. His sword chi swept across and sent several refined corpses at level 9 Martial King realm flying. There were even 7 to 8 corpse guards on the side that were swept by the sword chi and killed. An NBSP die. The city lord of Barren City brought Xianmin and charged out. Retreat! Let's work together to control the dragon corpse. The old corpse guard roared. Who? In the sky, an incomparably huge coffin flew down. This coffin was hundreds of meters long and more than 50 meters wide. It came crashing down on the city lord of the Barren City. Break! Die! The ancient Barren City master slashed out with his sword, causing the coffin to explode. However, from within the coffin a huge object emerged. It was 100 meters long and was covered in scales. It had 2 horns on its head and 4 claws under its belly. The corpse of a flood dragon. This was the corpse of a flood dragon. Buzz! An NBSP whoosh! Oh! At least 10 corpse guards flew onto the flood dragon's corpse, and corpse chi filled the air. These 10 corpse guards were all late-stage king-level corpse guards, and they were controlling the flood dragon corpse together. Roar! Roar! Suddenly, the flood dragon's corpse let out a deafening roar. The roar formed a huge storm that rushed toward the city lord of Barren City. Not good. You. The ancient Barren City lord's expression changed drastically. He slashed out with his sword, and the dazzling sword chi split the storm apart. However, he also retreated frantically. Who? The flood dragon's body moved. Its 200-meter-long body rushed toward the city lord of Barren City and clawed at him. His speed was as fast as lightning. The ancient Barren City lord roared in anger and slashed out with the shocking sword. However, it was useless. The sword chi was dispersed by the flood dragon's claw. The flood dragon's claw heavily struck the ancient Barren City lord's body. The city lord of the desolate ancient city was sent flying like a cannonball, crashing heavily into the light screen of the great inscription formation in front of the desolate ancient tomb. Fresh blood spurted out from his mouth. As for Xianmin, it went without saying that she was torn into pieces by this attack. How could this be? Die! The city lord of Barren City roared. He could not bear it. Father Min-er! Xianfeng also roared. In the inscription formation, everyone was in despair. The Heavenly Corpse sect even had the corpse of a flood dragon. From the exchange just now, the flood dragon's corpse was too powerful, and its battle prowess was unparalleled. It was probably infinitesimally close to the spiritual ocean tier. Could this inscription formation block it? The old corpse guard waved his hand and collected a wisp of Xianmin's blood. He sneered. I have the blood of the Xian family's descendant. All I need is the black iron heavy sword. Continue attacking. The old corpse guard waved his hand. Roar! The flood dragon's corpse continued to attack. And NBSP, the ancient Barren City lord used all his strength to block this attack, but the difference was too great. He was beaten until blood spurted out, and all his bones were broken. He lay on the ground, his aura rapidly weakening. Get back! Xianfeng roared and wanted to rush out, but he was stopped by the city lord of the Barren City. And NBSP, the old corpse guard walked to the city lord's side and used his Zhanyuan to take the city lord's storage ring. In the next moment, a black iron heavy sword appeared in his hand. Haha, I've got 2 keys. Now let's attack the inscription formation. The old corpse guard ordered. Chapter 562. 562 The Huge Heaven Gate. The Flood Dragon's corpse rushed forward and kept bombarding the inscription formation. Oh! The inscriptions trembled violently like water waves. Inside, many people revealed looks of fear. Boom! Boom! In less than 10 minutes, the inscription formation let out a terrifying roar and burst into a series of explosions. Then, with a violent shake, the inscription formation collapsed. The inscription formation had been broken. Sigh, it's still useless in the end. The city lord of Barren City sighed. And then, his life force was extinguished. Gather together and defend. The palace master of fire roared. More than 100 people retreated to a corner and gathered together, staring at the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect cautiously. At this point he could only fight to the death. Damn it, damn it. Am I going to die here today? Thunder Palace Master roared in his heart. He was extremely unwilling. He. The old corpse guard led a group of experts in profound fragrance to the front of the desolate ancient tomb. They were now in a spacious square in front of the desolate ancient tomb. The desolate ancient tomb was like a magnificent palace. It was 100 meters tall and extremely huge. Surround them first. It won't be too late to kill them after the door of the desolate ancient tomb opens, the old corpse guard ordered. Just in case, if he killed everyone from the Xian family, no one would ask him if anything happened when he opened the desolate ancient tomb. With a wave of his hand, a stream of energy appeared and cut a wound on Xian Xiang's arm. A stream of blood was attracted to the old corpse guard's hand. Xian Xiang cried out as she broke out in a cold sweat. You guys guard this place and stop them. You guys, follow me to open the desolate ancient tomb. The old corpse guard ordered. He immediately left behind a group of experts, including the flood dragon's corpse. The old corpse guard took some experts and walked towards the desolate ancient tomb. At this time, no one noticed that a figure wearing the black robe of the corpse guards had silently appeared behind the corpse guards. This person was, of course, Lu Ming. He killed a corpse guard, changed into the black robe of the corpse guard, and entered from the back without being discovered by the other corpse guards. Now the battle in the desolate ancient city was basically over. The Xian family had suffered a crushing defeat. Most of them were dead, and only a few people were left in the square of the desolate ancient tomb. Little girl, be honest. Once the desolate ancient tomb is successfully opened, I'll send you on your way. A level 7 King Realm corpse guard grabbed Xian Xiang's arm and sneered. Xian Xiang's arm was bleeding, and her face was pale. Now, Lu Ming's eyes flashed. A portion of the experts followed the old corpse guard to the desolate ancient tomb. The remaining experts controlled the flood dragon's corpse and glared at the palace master of fire and the rest. There were no experts around Lu Ming. The king who had caught the profound fragrance was the most powerful. Buzz! Lu Ming's figure flashed past a few corpse guards. Then he brazenly launched a Gakudo path attack. The spear's gleam turned into a stream of light, cutting through the void like a meteor. It was extremely fast as it struck towards the head of the corpse guard. The corpse guard did not expect that someone would launch a sneak attack from behind. Before he could react, Lu Ming had already pierced through his head and he died on the spot. Who? Lu Ming appeared beside Profound Fragrance. He took a deep breath, pulled the Profound Fragrance and soared into the sky. Who is it? You're looking for death. At this time the other corpse guards finally reacted and roared. The chains pierced through Lu Ming. Stay here. A level 9 Martial King Realm corpse guard standing on the head of the flood dragon roared in anger. His body flashed and moved at an unbelievable speed. Before Lu Ming could even use the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps, the corpse guard had already closed in on him. A vast wave of corpse chi was blasted toward Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming thrust his spear with all his might and collided with the corpse chi. However, his body was sent flying back 1,000 meters and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming! It's Lu Ming! At this moment the Palace Master of Lightning, Palace Master of Fire, and the rest exclaimed in disbelief when they saw Lu Ming's appearance. They did not expect to see Lu Ming here. Moreover, Lu Ming's combat strength was unbelievably strong. With a sneak attack, he had killed a Level 7 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard and blocked the attack of a Level 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard. Although this Level 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard had not used much of his strength in a hurry, it was still terrifying enough. Due to this delay, the refined corpses rushed over from all directions, wanting to surround Lu Ming. Gakudo-path attack. Lu Ming rushed in a direction where there were no experts. With a Gakudo-path attack, he sent more than 10 refined corpses and corpse guards flying. You want to leave? Stay. The corpse guard at the Level 9 Martial King realm moved in a flash and chased after Lu Ming. Do it, break out of the encirclement. At this moment, the Palace Master of Fire roared. They erupted and wanted to take this opportunity to break out of the encirclement. You're looking for death. A corpse guard on the Flood Dragon shouted. They controlled the Flood Dragon's corpse and charged towards Palace Master of Fire and the others. However, a few of the people on the Flood Dragon's back had gone to the desolate ancient tomb, and the Level 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard had gone after Lu Ming. There were only 5 people left, and it was extremely difficult for them to control the Flood Dragon's corpse, causing its movements to become slower than before. Damn it! The Level 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard could only turn around and fly toward the Flood Dragon's corpse to help control it. Without the pursuit of a phenomenal success King tier, Lu Ming was unstoppable. He sent dozens of refined corpses flying. Lord Lu Ming, how's my father? Upon seeing Lu Ming, Xianxiang's eyes lit up and she asked weakly. We'll talk about it later. Lu Ming channeled a stream of essential core to stop Xianxiang's bleeding and rushed out with all his might. Lu Ming was about to break out of the siege. Boom! At this moment, a violent explosion was heard from the direction of the desolate ancient tomb. Boom! 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 Following that, violent rumbles continued to ring out. The entire ancient desolate city was shaking violently. The next moment, a bright beam of light shot up from the side of the desolate ancient tomb into the sky, straight into the clouds. Who's that? At that moment, a scene that left everyone dumbfounded appeared. After the light pillar dispersed, a huge stone door suddenly appeared between heaven and earth. The stone door was so huge that it reached into the clouds. From the stone door there was a vast and endless power of heaven's might. Heaven's Gate! Heaven's Gate! Lu Ming exclaimed in shock. This huge stone gate was very similar to the Heaven Gate that Lu Ming had encountered at the waters of the Thousand River. Even the aura was almost exactly the same. However, the stone gate in front of him was extremely huge. It was many times larger than the sky gate he had seen at the Thousand River area. How did this happen? How could there be such a huge heavenly gate here? An NBSP, hoo-hoo. At this moment, a terrifying attractive force erupted from the sky gate. Not good, I'm about to be sucked in. Lu Ming was shocked. He realized that he could not rush out anymore. In the sky gate there was a strong suction force acting on him. He was not the only one. Everyone else in the ancient barren city was the same. They were all attracted by this force and slowly flew towards the sky gate. Chapter 563. 563 The World Inside the Heaven's Gate. Not good. Oh. The Thunder Palace Master, the Fire Palace Master, and the others also tried to rush out, but it was useless. They couldn't get out at all. They were attracted by the sky gate and slowly flew toward it. Roar! The experts of the Heavenly Corpse sect tried to control the Flood Dragon's corpse to fly out, but it was useless and ineffective. It was also attracted by the sky gate. This time, not only did the Heaven's Gate not erupt with any treasures, but it was also going to suck them in. Boom! 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 At this moment, the ancient desolate city started to shake violently. Everyone was shocked to find that the ancient barren city had actually left the ground, and was also flying toward the heavenly gate. The entire ancient desolate city was about to be sucked away. It was too shocking. How could this be? How did this happen? At the entrance of the desolate ancient tomb, the old corpse guard screamed repeatedly. They had just opened the door of the desolate ancient tomb, and this scene had appeared. It was completely different from the rumors. However, no matter how much they struggled, it was useless. They continued to approach the sky gate. All of a sudden, the gravitational force in the sky gate exploded violently and instantly increased by dozens of times. Lu Ming felt an irresistible force pulling him toward the heaven's gate. On the side, profound fragrance also followed. Everyone, including the entire city of desolation, flew toward the heaven gate at top speed. Buzz! When Lu Ming flew into the sky gate, he felt that the world was spinning. His vision turned black and he did not know anything. He seemed to be drifting in the endless darkness. After an unknown period of time, Lu Ming woke up and a ray of sunlight pierced his eyes. Not good. Lu Ming got up abruptly and realized that he was lying in a forest. Where is this place? Lu Ming hurriedly looked around. There was no one in the surroundings, and profound fragrance was not by his side. All around him were huge ancient trees. However, the ancient trees around him were simply too huge. The 1,000-year-old trees he had seen before were nothing compared to the trees in front of him. Here, any random ancient tree had a diameter of more than 10 meters. They were incomparably huge and shot straight into the sky, covering the sun. What is this place? Could it be the world inside the heaven gate? Lu Ming pondered. What dense spiritual qi of heaven and earth? Lu Ming realized that the heaven and earth spirit qi here was extremely rich. Even if it was not as rich as Tianxian City, it was not much different. One must know that Tianxian City was built on top of a super large spiritual eye. I don't care anymore, let's go find Xianxiang and the others. Lu Ming rose into the air and observed his surroundings. At a glance, there were ancient trees like this all around, extending to the end of the sky. Lu Ming randomly chose a direction and flew forward. Gah! Lu Ming had not even flown 100 miles when he let out a shrill cry. Above him, a huge wave of demonic qi pressed down on Lu Ming. A huge bird pounced at him. What a big bird! Lu Ming looked up and was shocked. The huge bird's wingspan was at least 50 meters wide. Its huge claws, which were emitting a metallic luster, were grabbing at Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. The wind and thunder spear appeared and he used all his strength to strike the giant bird's claw. Clang! The sound of metal clashing rang out. Sparks flew in all directions at the point of collision between the wind lightning spear and the giant claw. Lu Ming felt a force as heavy as a mountain surging towards him. His body could not help but fall rapidly. Lu Ming's toes stepped on a branch. A huge force was directed from his toes to the big tree below. Bang! Chapter 564. 564 The mastermind behind the scenes crisis. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He did not expect to find esoteric crystals in this place. Judging from the intent and aura, it should be a water-type profound meaning crystal. Lu Ming had no use for it, but he could exchange it. Without a word, Lu Ming picked up a saber and started digging. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, his digging speed was very fast. In just half an hour, he had dug out a huge pit and obtained 30 water-type profound meaning crystals. Of course, they were all low-grade. There were no middle-grade ones, but Lu Ming was already very satisfied. It was just a pit of ultimacy crystals. It was already very good to have 30 ultimacy crystals. Could this be a dimension that no one has ever been to before, just like the scale demon dimension? Lu Ming guessed in his heart. Then Lu Ming continued to move forward. Of course, they didn't go very fast. They were afraid that they would be done for if they entered the territory of a powerful demonic beast. However, after a few hundred miles, Lu Ming stopped again because he had discovered another pit of ultimacy crystals. It was only a few hundred miles and there was another pit of ultimacy crystals. Lu Ming was rather shocked. Moreover, this ultimacy crystal pit was a wind-type ultimacy crystal. Lu Ming had a use for it. He did not think too much and started digging. And NBSP, this time, he had dug out 29 wind intent crystals. After keeping it, Lu Ming continued to move forward. Lu Ming was shocked for the rest of the journey. There were many ultimacy crystals in this forest. He sprinted for around 10,000 miles and came across a total of 9 intent crystal pits. There were wind, fire, lightning, earth, and so on. There were a total of 7 attributes, and he had obtained over 200 different intent crystals. Aha, this is a holy land. How many intent crystals can we dig out if we turn this place upside down? Lu Ming's eyes were shining. However, Lu Ming discovered a problem. There were not many spiritual herbs in this place. He saw a few stalks of spiritual herbs occasionally. They were all level 1 or 2. The high-level spiritual herbs seemed to have been picked. There's an intent crystal pit. At this moment, Lu Ming discovered another ultimacy crystal pit. Just as Lu Ming was about to dig, he felt a strong sense of danger. The hair on his body stood on end. There was danger. Without thinking, Lu Ming flew to the sky and landed on a branch of a big tree. Bang! A beam of sword aura flashed past and a bottomless sword hole appeared where Lu Ming had been standing. Little bastard, your reaction is quite fast. With a sneer, the figure of an old man appeared. Old man, it's you. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. This old man was the master of the Thunder Palace. What's wrong? I'm surprised to see you. Let's see who will save you today. A cold killing intent flashed in the eyes of Thunder Palace Master. You think you can kill me? Lu Ming sneered. Lu Ming, I have to admit that you're indeed very lucky. You were ambushed by the Heavenly Corpse sect along the way. Everyone else died, but you're still alive. I thought you were dead a long time ago. Thunder Palace Master laughed coldly. Were you the one who informed the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming asked. That's right, it's me. Lu Ming had never expected that the Palace Master of the Thunder Palace would actually admit to it. Boom! Lu Ming's body exploded with a strong killing intent. His voice was extremely cold as he said, Old man, I didn't expect it to really be you. When he asked that question earlier, it was just a casual and probing question. He had not expected that it would really be the Thunder Palace Master. He had always thought that it was the Shang family who had attacked the Heavenly Corpse sect. In your dreams, die. The Thunder Palace Master shouted, and his Lever 9 Martial King Realm aura burst out. With a wave of his hand, a sword of thunder formed in his hand. Dandan, smash! Lu Ming patted Dandan. Buzz! Dandan flew out and smashed towards Thunder Palace Master. Thunder Palace Master's eyes widened, and a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm shot toward Dandan. However, it was of no use. It rushed past and continued to smash towards Thunder Palace Master's face. Thunder Palace Master's expression changed slightly. He retreated and slapped out. This palm was too fast, and Dandan couldn't avoid it. She was hit and flew far away. What's the use of unorthodox methods? Die! Thunder Palace Master shouted coldly. Lu Ming sighed. The cultivation level of the Palace Master of the Thunder Palace was too high. Even a surprise attack was useless. Without any hesitation, he turned around and used the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps to run away. Right now, he was still not a match for the Thunder Palace Master, so he could only retreat first. If you want to leave, then stay. The Thunder Palace Master bellowed in anger. He moved and shot towards Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. His speed was so fast that he was not slower than Lu Ming. A lightning sword slashed at Lu Ming. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming thrust his spear and a 3-colored true dragon flew out, pouncing at the lightning sword. The sword of lightning pierced through the 3-colored war dragon, crushing it in an instant. The sword of lightning did not stop and continued to shoot toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression was grave as he blocked the attack with his long spear. Clang! With a loud boom, Lu Ming's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He crashed heavily into the ground, creating a deep pit. Lu Ming coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. His body was injured. If it were not for the fact that Lu Ming had already comprehended the thunder mentality and cultivated it to the late stage of level 1 lower tier, which offset a part of the power of lightning, this move alone would have severely injured Lu Ming. Lever 9 Martial King Realm. You're indeed powerful. I can't fight you now. Let's go. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming rushed out of the crater and ran forward with the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps. I told you, you can't escape. Thunder Palace Master's voice was cold as he chased after Lu Ming. The thunder concept that the Thunder Palace Master had comprehended was too fast. Lu Ming could not escape at all. Boom! Lu Ming and the Thunder Palace Master exchanged a blow. This time it was even worse. Smoke was coming out of his body and he was almost burnt to ashes. His body seemed to be splitting apart. Lu Ming rushed out of the huge pit and coughed up a large amount of blood. He looked at the Thunder Palace Master with a murderous look. Run, why aren't you running? Let's see where you can run to. Today you will die. The Master of Thunder Palace walked over step by step, looking extremely cold. It's still not certain who will die today. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness, and the power of thunder exuded from between his eyebrows. He was going to control the lightning cauldron and launch a fatal attack on the Lightning Palace Master. After using the lightning cauldron, he would definitely fall into a weakened state. This place could be said to be extremely dangerous, but at this point he had no other choice. Buzz! Dandan flew back and glowed beside Lu Ming. The Master of the Thunder Palace frowned. For some reason, he felt a dangerous aura from Lu Ming. Lu Ming frowned. He then retracted his aura and ran toward the mountains. Fortunately, Lu Ming did not encounter any powerful demonic beasts on these mountains. If there were, they were rather weak. Could it be that all the powerful demonic beasts are in that forest? Lu Ming relaxed slightly. He then flew high into the sky and sped up. Wait, what's that? Suddenly, Lu Ming stopped and flew back, landing on a small mountain peak. This is Power Upanishad Crystal Vein? Lu Ming sensed it carefully and realized that the mountain peak was exuding a strong aura. Moreover, it was the aura of wind concept. This was actually a wind-type intent crystal mine. Lu Ming was overjoyed. There would be at least several hundred pieces of intent crystals in the intent crystal vein, and there might even be mid-grade intent crystals. Most importantly, they were wind-type esoteric crystals. With these crystals, Lu Ming's concept of wind would improve rapidly. Digging. Lu Ming started to dig crazily. 3 hours later, the entire small mountain peak had been excavated by Lu Ming. The harvest was rich. There were a total of 330 low-grade wind attribute intent crystals. Most importantly, there were 2 mid-grade wind attribute intent crystals. A total of 2 middle-grade wind attribute intent crystals. Haha, I'm rich. Lu Ming wanted to burst out laughing. This place is full of treasures. Keep searching. See if there are any other Power Upanishad crystal veins. Lu Ming started to search around frantically. Indeed, there were no more powerful demonic beasts on this piece of land. Lu Ming increased his speed. Soon he discovered a small profound meaning crystal mine tens of thousands of miles away. Haha, it's another intent crystal vein. Previously in that forest it was a pit of intent crystals. Now it's an intent crystal vein. We're rich, we're rich. Lu Ming was in an extremely good mood. He was initially a little depressed because he had entered this inexplicable place. However, all his depression was swept away at this moment. This esoteric crystal vein was a gold attribute esoteric crystal vein. In the end, Lu Ming had excavated more than 400 gold attribute esoteric crystals and 2 mid-grade gold attribute esoteric crystals. Continue. Lu Ming could not stop at all. Half an hour later, Lu Ming stopped on a mountain peak and frowned slightly. The mountain below had been completely excavated. From the faint intent realm aura that permeated the air, it must be a small Power Upanishad crystal mine. But it was discovered by others. I wonder if they're from the Heavenly Corpse sect. This time, the majority of the people who had entered were from the Heavenly Corpse sect. It seems like I have to be more careful. Lu Ming's figure moved and he left the place. An hour later, he stopped in front of a mountain peak and revealed a look of ecstasy. This mountain was suffused with the lightning intent of powerful lightning, and it was a lightning-type intent crystal mine. It just so happened that Lu Ming had a use for the thunder-type esoteric crystals. Buzz, buzz. Lu Ming started to dig. Haha, we're so lucky. Another power Upanishad crystal load. We're going to be rich this time. Lu Ming had not dug twice when a cold and dry voice was heard. Who? Who? 2 coffins flew over, and 6 figures walked out of them. 2 corpse guards and 6 refined corpses. Their bodies exuded a powerful aura. Late-stage king tears. They're all late-stage king tears. Lu Ming's expression changed. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had sent about a dozen king tiers of the upper tier into this place. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming had encountered 2 of them. Brat, you're from the Xian family, and you're also from the Ditian Divine Guard. It's your bad luck to have run into us. Hand over your storage ring obediently, and we'll leave your corpse intact. One of the corpse guards sneered. Chapter 566. 566 Crazy Breakthrough. If you have the ability, come and get it yourself. Oh, Lu Ming said coldly. Brat, you're overestimating yourself. I'll kill you first. A corpse guard coldly shouted. Then a refined corpse pounced on Lu Ming. An NBSP whoosh, whoosh. 7 to 8 iron chains swept toward Lu Ming like venomous snakes. Lu Ming's long spear swept out and collided with the iron chain. His body was sent flying backward. This won't do. Although these 2 corpse guards are both at level 7 Martial King realm, they're still king tiers in the upper tier. I'm not their match yet. I can only retreat first. No matter how unwilling he was, the fat meat in his mouth was about to disappear. He had no choice, his strength was inferior to others. Lu Ming turned around and cast the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps. In a few flashes he was far away. The 2 corpse guards were somewhat dazed, unable to catch up at all. This kid is quite fast. A corpse guard was somewhat unwilling. Forget it, let's not care about him. Let's dig up the intent crystals first. This place is truly a peerless treasure ground. I've never heard of a place like this before. If we can bring these intent crystals out this time, we'll be rich. The other corpse guard's eyes lit up. He immediately controlled the refined corpse and began to dig. Lu Ming flew for thousands of miles and stopped at a hidden place. Looks like I'll have to increase my strength first. Otherwise, I won't be a match for these late-stage king tiers. Only by increasing our strength can we obtain more resources. Sky Corpse sect Thunder Palace Master, just you wait. With a single thought, Lu Ming entered the Supreme Shrine. With a wave of his hand, a pile of wind attribute intent crystals appeared on the side. Now, as long as the wind attribute esoteric crystal was upgraded to level 1 lower tier, Lu Ming's cultivation could continue to increase rapidly. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and a middle-grade wind-type esoteric crystal appeared in his hand. Lu Ming had to start with middle-grade profound meaning crystals. Placing the path understanding ancient tree by his side, Lu Ming entered a state of emptiness. Then he clenched the intent crystal. Bang! The wind element middle grade profound meaning crystal shattered. Strands of extremely strong intent realm emerged and surrounded Lu Ming. Lu Ming closed his eyes and started to comprehend. The effects of middle grade intent crystals were astonishing. 2 days later, Lu Ming had broken through the wind concept to level 1 lower tier. However, the effects of the esoteric crystals were still there. Lu Ming continued to cultivate. In a flash, 3 days had passed. His wind mentality had reached the middle stage of level 1 lower tier. The effect of the mid-tier profound meaning silk thread finally disappeared. Then Lu Ming took out low-grade profound meaning crystals and continued to comprehend. The effect of comprehending in the Supreme Shrine was slightly worse than in Tianxian City. After half a month, he had used up all 300 wind-type profound meaning crystals. His wind concept had just broken through to the peak of level 1 lower tier. It was only 1 step away from level 1 upper class, which was equivalent to the concept of fire. Who? Lu Ming opened his eyes and let out a breath of turbid air. Now my wind and fire mentality is only 1 step away from level 1 upper tier, and my thunder mentality has reached the late stage of level 1 lower tier. It won't affect my cultivation anymore. I'll start to improve my cultivation. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. With a wave of his hand, 50,000 top-grade spirit crystals appeared and exploded. The bloodline of the 9 dragons devoured them and refined them into vital essence. The 3 concepts were almost at an equilibrium. Indeed, there was no more resistance. Lu Ming's cultivation level began to increase rapidly. However, after reaching the Level 4 Martial King realm, the amount of spiritual crystals required to improve one's cultivation was terrifying. From the early stage of the Level 4 Martial King realm to the middle stage, it had taken 200,000 spiritual crystals, which was a terrifying amount. A small level would cost 200,000. After refining 600,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals, Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through to the peak of the 4th level Dao Martial King realm. Then, he refined another 500,000 pieces of top-grade spiritual crystals. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through to the early stage of the 5th level Martial King realm. After refining 1,000,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals, Lu Ming's cultivation level had only increased by 1 level. If it were anyone else, they would not be able to afford it. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm. He continued to take out top-grade spirit crystals and began to devour and refine them. The 5th level of the Martial King realm required even more top-grade spirit crystals. Lu Ming had refined 900,000 of them before he reached the peak of the 5th level of the Martial King realm. Then, he refined 80 more and broke through to the early stage of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. However, Lu Ming did not stop there. He refined another 5,000,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals and cultivated to the peak of the 6th level Martial King realm. He had reached his limit here because he could not break through the realm of heaven and earth, so it was impossible for his cultivation to break through. In total, he had refined 3,000,000 supreme spiritual crystals in 7 days. If others knew about this, they would be scared to death. He had refined 3,000,000 supreme spiritual crystals in 7 days, and his cultivation had broken through several levels. He was not human. Of course, this was also thanks to the 9 dragon bloodlines' advancement to the 7th level of the king tier, which greatly enhanced the power of devouring and refining. If it were in the past, it would not have been possible. A peak Level 6 Martial King realm. His genuine yuan is too strong. Lu Ming felt that the moment he opened his mouth, all he spurted out was essential core. How strong is my current combat power? Lu Ming's eyes glimmered. When the 3 kinds of intent realms of heaven and earth reached the 1st level small success, the power of the 3 kinds of fusion was definitely comparable to the completion of the 1st level of a single intent realm. In addition, his cultivation was now at the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. Lu Ming did not know how strong he was. In any case, killing a Level 7 King realm warrior would be a piece of cake. I might as well cultivate the 3 absolutes of the dragon god once more and raise my strength to the limit before going out, Lu Ming pondered. In this place, Lu Ming had a huge advantage. He could quickly turn the intent crystals into strength. For the others, no matter how many esoteric crystals they had, they could not use them as quickly as Lu Ming. Moreover, even if their concepts had improved, their cultivation would not improve as quickly as Lu Ming because their speed of refining crystals was far slower than his. Therefore, Lu Ming was not afraid that other people's cultivation would also increase rapidly. Lu Ming planned to raise his combat strength to the maximum, and then go out to excavate the profound meaning crystals. He would kill the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect and take their profound meaning crystals. Under the Path Understanding Ancient Tree, the speed of comprehending martial techniques was also 10 times faster than normal. In just half a month's time, Lu Ming had cultivated the Dragon God's 3 absolutes to the 4th stage. Lu Ming's ability had increased by another level. Let's go. It's time to reap the rewards. With a single thought, Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine and turned into a ray of light, disappearing in a flash. Lu Ming did not control his speed at all. He flew wildly in the sky. In the blink of an eye, he had traveled more than 100,000 miles. Along the way, Lu Ming saw 5 to 6 esoteric crystal veins that had been mined. Lu Ming did not stop in this area. He flew further away. 5 hours later, Lu Ming finally met a figure. Hurry up, hurry up. We'll finish excavating this intent crystal vein and go look for the next one. Not far ahead, a shout came out. There were around 30 corpse guards controlling the refined corpses and excavating a power Upanishad crystal vein. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had sent in a lot of people. There were nearly 1,000 of them, and 30 of them was only a small portion. Buzz! Lu Ming appeared in the sky above the esoteric crystal mine with a cold smile on his face. What a coincidence! The leaders of this group of corpse guards were the two 7th-level Martial King Realm corpse guards that Lu Ming had encountered earlier. Chapter 567. 567 Sweep Huge Harvest. Lu Ming's appearance alarmed the corpse guards. Oh, who is it? Brat, so it's you. You still dare to appear? You're looking for death. Lu Ming. A few cold shouts were heard. The two 7th-level Martial King Realm corpse guards instantly recognized Lu Ming. Buzz. Whoa. The air was torn as two Level 7 Martial King Realm refined corpses blocked Lu Ming's path of retreat. This time they had learned their lesson. They blocked the road in the beginning, afraid that Lu Ming would escape again. It seems that you have gained a lot during this period of time. Lu Ming's eyes shone with a fiery glow. As far as he knew, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect rarely cultivated the 9 common mentalities. What the Heavenly Corpse sect cultivated the most was a special kind of mentalism called the death mentalism. Therefore, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect would definitely not use up all the ultimacy crystals they had excavated. Most of them were kept in the storage rings, waiting to be exchanged for resources. Not bad indeed, kid. Unfortunately, you can only be envious. Kill. A Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guard sneered and suddenly shouted. Whoosh! Whoosh! The two Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards behind Lu Ming immediately attacked him. In front of him, another Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guard was controlling two refined corpses to besiege Lu Ming. This time you're the ones who will die. And NBSP, the wind lightning spear appeared in his hand, and he swept it. A full moon appeared in the sky. Bang! 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 The spearlight accurately hit the 4 Level 7 Martial King refined corpses. Like 4 cannonballs, the 4 refined corpses were sent flying 10,000 meters away and crashed into a few mountains. With a series of rumbles, dust filled the air, and a few large mountains collapsed, sending gravel flying. All the corpse guards' expressions changed drastically, especially the 2 Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards. They could no longer sense the 4 refined corpses, which meant that the 4 refined corpses had been destroyed. How is this possible? A refined corpse has copper skin and iron bones. It's impervious to swords and spears, especially a Level 7 Martial King refined corpse. Even a Level 8 Martial King expert can't destroy it so easily. And Lu Ming had destroyed 4 Level 7 Martial King refined corpses with a single shot. The faces of the 2 Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards turned pale. Let's go. Without any hesitation, the 2 Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards madly flew into the distance. It's too late for you to leave. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared behind the 2 corpse guards. His long spear smashed towards the 2 of them with the force of Mount Tai. An enormous spear light that was thousands of meters long crushed down at the 2 corpse guards. The 2 corpse guards roared and fought back with all their might. However, the corpse guard's combat strength was weak to begin with. How could it stop Lu Ming? Boom! The spear light smashed down, and the 2 Level 7 Martial King corpse guards were smashed into meat paste. Run! When the other corpse guards saw this scene, they were scared out of their wits and scattered in all directions. Devour! Roar! The bloodline of the 9 dragons flew out and let out a long roar. A terrifying devouring power burst out of its mouth and covered the corpse guards. What happened? Why can't I run anymore? My blood essence is about to fly out, help! One by one, the corpse guards cried out in fear. But in the next moment, whoosh! Whoosh! Drops of blood essence were directly devoured from the body of those corpse guards, flying into the mouth of the nine-dragon bloodline. Once his blood essence was devoured, his life force would also be gone. Oh! More than 30 corpse guards had all fallen and landed on the ground. Who? The bloodline of the nine dragons swallowed the blood essence of the two Lever 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards. With a wave of his hand, Lu Ming's quintessential essence formed thin threads and took off all the corpse guards' storage rings. Let's go. We'll find a place to refine the blood essence and then count it. Lu Ming moved and left the place. Oh! Tens of thousands of miles away, Lu Ming entered the Supreme Shrine and began to refine the blood essence. This time Lu Ming used all the power of his blood essence to upgrade his second blood meridian. The blood essence of the two Lever 7 Martial King Realm King Tiers, and more than 30 other corpse guards was extremely rich. Not long after, the second bloodline trembled slightly, and the 7th Asalavira chakra appeared. King level 7th rank bloodline. The blood essence of a late-stage king was indeed extraordinary. Buzz! The second bloodline trembled slightly, and the mist that shrouded the stone tablet seemed to become lighter. On the top of the stone tablet, there was a large blurry word that appeared and disappeared. Lu Ming widened his eyes and observed carefully. Suppress. At the top of the stone tablet, there seemed to be a word, suppress. Town? Could it be that this steel is called the suppressing steel? Lu Ming was very curious. Unfortunately, he could only vaguely see this word. Lu Ming could not see the other words. Sooner or later, it will all appear. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with anticipation. Then, he took out the storage rings of the corpse guards and started to count them. There were a total of 33 storage rings. Lu Ming first checked the storage ring of a Lever 7 Martial King Realm corpse guard. He was overjoyed when he saw it. There were piles of intent crystals in the storage ring. There were too many of them. Each pile was worth at least 500 yuan. Not only were there 9 commonly seen intent crystals, but there were also some special intent crystals. For example, star intent crystals and berserk intent crystals. And NBSP. There were a total of 13 intent crystals. And NBSP. Of course, the number of special intent crystals was much smaller, but there were still more than 100. There were a few metal boxes beside the profound meaning crystals. Lu Ming opened them and realized that they were all middle-grade profound meaning crystals. There were a total of 30 pieces of middle-grade profound meaning crystals. Lu Ming was almost drooling. Whoa, this place is really a peerless treasure land. Lu Ming's eyes emitted a fiery glow. He then checked the other storage rings. There was no doubt that the two Lever 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards had the most number of intent crystals, but the other 30 corpse guards added together also had a lot. In the end, Lu Ming discovered that he had about 20,000 pieces of various crystals. Yes, more than 20,000 intent crystals and 108 middle-grade intent crystals. I'm rich, I'm really rich. If he were to bring these ultimacy crystals to Tianxian City, the entire city would probably be shaken. Other than the esoteric crystals, Lu Ming had not counted the rest. He could not be bothered to do so now. He would slowly count them when he had time later. It's still faster to kill these Skycorp sect corpse guards to obtain intent crystals. If I dig them up myself, how long will it take? Lu Ming decided to go out and hunt corpse guards to obtain intent crystals. Not long after, Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and began to search the area. Unfortunately, within a radius of more than 100,000 miles, he only encountered a small team of a dozen corpse guards. The highest cultivation was only at the 5th level of the Martial King Realm, and they were easily killed by Lu Ming. And NBSP. This small team only had a little more than 1,000 intent crystals. Looks like I'll have to search further away. Lu Ming continued to fly forward at high speed. Chapter 568. 568 The Damned Lightning Cauldron. Boom! Boom! Oh! Half a day later, a series of rumbles sounded in the sky above a mountain peak hundreds of thousands of miles away. A few figures were engaged in an intense battle. Gakudo-path attack. Poochie. Lu Ming's spear pierced through the space between the eyebrows of a middle-aged corpse guard, and he died unwillingly. It seems that I'll have no problem killing a corpse guard at the peak of Level 8 Martial King realm with my extreme strike. However, corpse guards are weaker than ordinary martial artists. My combat strength is still no match for a king at the upper tier of Level 9 Martial King realm. Lu Ming kept his long spear and pondered. On the ground below, there were dozens of corpses, all of which were corpse guards. Not long ago, Lu Ming had come here and encountered these corpse guards, and a great battle had begun. The leader of these corpse guards was a peak Level 8 Martial King. Lu Ming had to use all his combat strength to kill all of them. His quintessential essence swept out and collected all the storage rings. Lu Ming found a place and started to count. His harvest this time was even greater than last time. He had nearly 30,000 intent crystals in total. Crazy, this was too crazy. Even with Lu Ming's composure, he could not help but tremble. Intent crystals weren't something that could be measured by price. If they were taken out, countless people would fight for them. Right now, should I cultivate first, or should I go and hunt the heavenly corpse guards first? Lu Ming pondered. I'd better cultivate first. From the looks of it, I won't be able to return anytime soon. I might as well rush to the Lake King tier in one go. That way, I won't have to fear anyone in this place other than those giant beasts. Lu Ming made up his mind and then took out a piece of thunder profound crystal. He planned to comprehend the thunder concept first. After all, his thunder concept was lagging behind the other two concepts. And NBSP. He planned to first use low-grade lightning intent crystals to raise his lightning intent to the peak of Level 1 small success, then use mid-grade lightning intent crystals to break through to Level 1 large success. Bang! Lu Ming crushed a thunder profound crystal, closed his eyes and began to comprehend. However, Lu Ming opened his eyes in less than a minute. What's going on? Why did the intent realm threads in the intent crystals disappear for no reason? Lu Ming's eyes were filled with bewilderment. When he was cultivating just now, he realized that he couldn't absorb any intent at all. It had completely disappeared. Faster, I want to see what's going on. Lu Ming took out another piece and crushed it. This time Lu Ming did not start to comprehend. Instead, he observed carefully. In the end, he was dumbfounded to find that all of the intent realm threads had flown to the space between his brows and were absorbed by the lightning cauldron in his sea of consciousness. No way, Nest. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. And NBSP. He had never used lightning intent crystals before, so he hadn't noticed this problem. This lightning cauldron was actually trying to snatch the lightning concept silk from him. Lu Ming did not give up. He crushed a few more thunder profound crystals, but the result was the same. Lu Ming crushed another esoteric crystal, but the lightning cauldron did not react at all. Nest, you don't have to do this. I'll XXXX. Lu Ming was speechless. He had the urge to vomit blood. This way, didn't that mean he had to comprehend the thunder concept honestly and couldn't use intent crystals to rapidly increase it? His plan to increase his cultivation base at a crazy rate was going to be ruined. Because no matter how fast he comprehended other concepts, it would be useless if the thunder concept didn't catch up. Heavens, why are you playing with me like this? Lu Ming looked at the large pile of thunder profound crystals in the storage ring and sighed to the sky. Then Lu Ming's consciousness appeared in his consciousness. He looked at the lightning cauldron and gritted his teeth. He wished he could just throw the lightning cauldron away. However, he was just thinking about it. Let's not talk about whether he could do it or not. Even if he could, he couldn't bear to do it. Forget it, I'll just comprehend it honestly. Lu Ming sat cross-legged under the lightning cauldron and began to comprehend the lightning concept. Fortunately, the path understanding ancient tree was placed next to Lu Ming. Even if he was in his sea of consciousness, the effect would still be 10 times that of normal. After all, the sea of consciousness was only in the space between his eyebrows. Lu Ming calmed his heart down and started to comprehend the concept of thunder. Even without the profound meaning crystals, With the help of the Thunder Cauldron and the path-understanding ancient tree, Lu Ming's comprehension of the thunder mentality was extremely fast. It was 100 times faster than the others. 10 days later, Lu Ming's comprehension of the thunder concept had reached the peak of level 1 lower tier. However, it was not easy to break through to level 1 upper tier. It required accumulation. Lu Ming had been in this place for more than a month. I must quickly think of a way to get out of here. There are only 3.5 months left until the day of senior sister Mulan's wedding with the sacred constellation, and the day of my challenge to the sacred constellation. Lu Ming frowned. However, he was still clueless about how to get out. Lu Ming decided to hunt corpse guards while he searched for a way to get out. After leaving the Supreme Shrine, Lu Ming flew in a straight line in one direction. What? At this moment, Dandan, who was hanging in her hair, flew out. Her whole body was shining and trembling slightly. Then she flew in one direction at an extreme speed. What's going on? What did Dandan find? Lu Ming had some doubts and flew to follow Dandan. After flying for about 10,000 miles, a huge mountain shrouded in dark red mist appeared in front of them. The surroundings of this mountain peak were deathly silent. There were no plants nor any living beings. The mountain was filled with dark red mist, and it was obvious that it was an evil creature. Dandan flew to the front of the mountain, trembling slightly, as if she was very excited, and then flew into the mountain. Lu Ming followed him and flew in. Kill! Kill! As soon as Lu Ming came into contact with the dark red mist, an earth-shattering battle cry rang out in his mind. He realized that his surroundings had changed. It had become a living hell. Millions of corpses lay on the ground, and blood flowed like rivers. Countless powerful existences were fighting. Lu Ming saw a true dragon flying in the sky, but it was torn into two by a demonic shadow that was as tall as the sky. Lu Ming saw a phoenix flying across the sky, but its wings were cut off by a demonic shadow. A human expert slashed open the sky with a sword, but he was blasted apart by a fiend shadow with a punch. An unimaginable scene appeared before Lu Ming's eyes. The terrifying killing intent almost made Lu Ming's mind collapse. At this moment, Lu Ming felt a force pulling at him. The surrounding environment changed. He was still at the edge of the mountain. The bloodline of the 9 dragons surrounded his body, and the devouring power burst out to resist the dark red mist. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. This dark red mist was too strange. It was extremely dangerous just now, and Lu Ming almost had a mental breakdown. What was that scene just now? Could it be a real war that happened in history? Lu Ming was very curious. Dandan. Then Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' bloodline to protect his body and rushed toward the mountain peak. When he reached the peak, he was dumbfounded. Chapter 569. 569 Dandan hatched. On the peak there was a broken wing. On top of it divine light shone, and it was extremely mysterious. Most importantly, this wing was very similar to the scene that Lu Ming had just seen. A phoenix's wing had been cut off. These were phoenix wings. Lu Ming felt that his heart was about to jump to his throat. What was a phoenix? An ancient divine beast, an existence on par with a true dragon, an invincible existence, and incomparably powerful. In the divine wilderness continent, it had already been extinct for many years. But now here he actually saw such a wing. What made Lu Ming most dumbfounded was that Dandan was actually eating this wing. He saw that Dandan had become 100 meters tall. On the eggshell there was a huge crack, and it was biting the wing bit by bit. Moreover, the speed was very fast. In a few moments, more than half of it was eaten by Dandan. Even the feathers on it were not spared. Damn, leave some for me! Lu Ming shouted and dashed forward. However, as soon as Lu Ming approached, he felt a terrifying aura acting on his body. Waves of tearing pain came. Lu Ming felt that his body was almost torn apart. Lu Ming retreated hurriedly in shock. What a terrifying aura! This might really be a phoenix's wing. Even after its death, its aura has not dispersed. Ordinary people can't get close to it at all. Lu Ming was shocked. However, Dandan, that beast, was actually completely fine and was even eating in big mouthfuls. Very quickly, an entire wing was gnawed off by Dandan. Only a few feathers were left. "You beast!" Lu Ming screamed in a heart-wrenching manner. However, after it finished gnawing, it returned to the size of a human head and landed on the mountain peak, motionless. Only its surface emitted a faint light. After the wing was eaten, the terrifying aura disappeared. Lu Ming walked over. "Dandan." Lu Ming patted Dandan, but she did not move. This guy, could it be that he ate too much and needs to digest? Lu Ming tried to lift Dandan up but realized that she was heavier than a mountain. He could not carry her at all. Lu Ming was speechless. It seemed that he would have to wait here for a while. Lu Ming sized up his surroundings. He realized that there were still a few feathers left on the mountain peak. Lu Ming hurriedly ran over to pick them up. There were a total of 5 feathers, each about half a meter long. On that wing, it was the shortest and was considered a mixed feather, which was why it fell off. But even so, the 5 feathers were sparkling and fiery red, as if they were made of fire jade. They exuded an astonishing qi. Lu Ming had to use all his strength to resist it. "This is also a supreme treasure, keep it first." Lu Ming took out a storage ring and kept the 5 feathers. He then looked around, but unfortunately he didn't find anything else. "Forget it, I'll cultivate while waiting for Dandan." Lu Ming entered the Supreme Shrine and continued to comprehend the thunder mentality. Lu Ming's comprehension of the thunder concept improved by leaps and bounds every day. This cultivation lasted for half a month. With the help of the Path Understanding Ancient Tree and the Lightning Cauldron, Lu Ming's half a month of cultivation was equivalent to 4 years of cultivation for others. Lu Ming felt that his thunder concept was about to break through to level 1 upper tier. It was just a piece of paper away. At this moment, Lu Ming felt something strange outside and left the Supreme Shrine. At this moment, Dandan's body was emitting an intense light, as bright as a small sun. A terrifying life essence rippled out. "Kacha!" All of a sudden, Lu Ming heard a slight cracking sound from Dandan's body and a tiny crack appeared. Could it be that Dandan is about to hatch? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Dandan was spurted out from the Heaven's Gate, and it was extremely wonderful. It was unafraid of any energy attack and had a huge appetite. It could even eat heavenly tribulations and phoenix wings. Lu Ming had always been very curious. What was Dandan? What kind of creature would it be after it hatched? Now the answer was finally revealed. "Kacha!" Another sound came from the eggshell. "Treasure, there's a treasure here." Suddenly an excited shout could be heard. "Ha ha ha! This treasure is definitely unusual. It's ours." The sound of air being torn sounded out as dozens of corpse guards appeared with refined corpses. "Brat, this treasure isn't something you can look at. Die." One of the corpse guards saw Lu Ming and immediately controlled a refined corpse to attack him. "All of you are going to die." Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. His 9-dragon bloodline emerged and he opened his mouth to suck. The dozens of corpse guards, who were below the level of a king tier, had their blood essence devoured by Lu Ming and died an unnatural death. The remaining 2 corpse guards, one at level 7 and the other at level 8 Martial King Realm, looked at Lu Ming with a dumbfounded expression, their eyes filled with shock. What martial arts technique was Lu Ming performing? He had actually killed dozens of corpse guards with one move. Kill! Lu Ming took a step forward and charged at the 2 corpse guards. Boom! Boom! In less than 10 moves, the 2 corpse guards were killed by Lu Ming and all the storage rings fell into his hands. At this moment, more cracks appeared on Dandan's eggshell. As Lu Ming refined the blood essence, he fixed his gaze on Dandan. A few minutes later, with a bang, the eggshell cracked completely. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. A turtle the size of a fist appeared before Lu Ming's eyes. This turtle stood on its 2 legs like a human, and its 2 front legs were like human hands. It stretched its waist. "Ha ha ha, I'm finally resurrected. I've returned to the world. Experts of this world tremble. Beauties of this world, open your hearts and wait for my arrival. Ha ha ha. The little turtle could actually speak the human language and let out a long howl. However, his voice was extremely tender, like that of a 3-year-old child. It was extremely comical. Lu Ming's eyelids were twitching and his lips were trembling. What the hell? What the hell was this egg hatching? Not only did it hatch a turtle, but it was also a talking, extremely narcissistic turtle. Lu Ming was completely speechless. After a while he said, Dan Dan. Before he could finish, he was interrupted. Dan what Dan? If you call me Dandan again, this lord won't spare you. In the past, this lord was like a turtle under the roof, so I endured it, but in the future you better behave yourself. The little turtle placed his 2 front legs on his turtle shell, looking like a peerless master as he berated. It was just that his young and tender voice really did not have the slightest bit of deterrence. Dandan, what are you? You can actually speak the moment you're born. Where are your parents? Lu Ming was extremely curious. Junior, shut up. I'm telling you, I'm the head of the top 10 war beasts, invincible since ancient times. I live as long as the heaven and earth, and shine as brightly as the sun and the moon. Where did I get my parents from? I've said it before, if you call me Dandan again, I'll get angry with you. The little turtle stretched out one of its claws and pointed at Lu Ming, its eyes wide open. The top 10 war beasts? Dandan, what's that? Lu Ming asked curiously. You. The little turtle almost coughed up blood, and he took a few deep breaths to calm himself down. Baring his fangs, he said, Forget it, you're just a little brat. This lord won't stoop to your level. Chapter 570. 570 Profound yellow soil. Its eyes rolled twice as if it was in deep thought. After a while it coughed and said, Back then, I experienced a bitter battle and was seriously injured. I had no choice but to turn into an egg. After countless years I was finally reborn. As I had just been reborn, my memories are not complete. As for what the top 10 battle beasts were, I can't remember clearly. Oh, you can't remember? Lu Ming looked at Dandan suspiciously and said, Then you should be very strong, right? Cough cough, didn't I tell you? I was too heavily injured back then and I've just been reborn. I haven't recovered much of my strength. Dandan placed a turtle claw by her mouth and coughed a few times in a very human-like manner. Dandan, you're not lying to me, are you? Lu Ming looked at Dandan with a look of disbelief. In the past, Dandan had been very intelligent. Lu Ming suspected that before Dandan hatched, she had learned to speak. After she hatched, she pretended to be an expert to fool him. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. As for the so-called top 10 war beasts, he didn't believe it at all. Brat, you actually dare to doubt me? Fine, in order to make you convinced, I'll give you a good fortune now. Dandan put her hands behind her back, her face full of displeasure. Oh, what good fortune? Lu Ming said with a smile. I sense that there's a supreme treasure in a place not far away. I'll take you there now and make you convinced. Dandan snorted coldly. What treasure? Lu Ming was very curious. If I'm not wrong, that should be the dark yellow soil. It can absorb all the energy in the world and transform it into its own energy to grow peerless spiritual medicine. Dandan smiled proudly. What? Profound yellow soil? Is that true? Lu Ming was greatly shocked. Xianhuang soil was a rare treasure that only appeared when the world was first created. It was a divine soil used to grow spiritual herbs. In the ancient times, even the ancient times, the most powerful people in the world would use the dark yellow soil to cultivate spirit herbs. However, the dark yellow soil was extremely rare and was sold in taels. One tael could be sold for a sky-high price. Lu Ming immediately thought of the path understanding ancient tree. If he had the dark yellow soil, the problem of cultivation would be much easier. The spring water in the jade box containing the ancient tree of comprehension was almost empty, so it was crucial to find spiritual liquid to nurture it. Come with me. Dandan smiled complacently. With her hands behind her back, she spread her legs and stepped on the air, flying into the distance at an extremely fast speed. Although Lu Ming was skeptical, he still followed her. About 50,000 miles away from Lu Ming, the area within 1,000 miles was barren and desolate. Not a single blade of grass grew. 2 figures were flying within. If Lu Ming was here, he would be able to recognize the 2 of them at a glance. One of them was the Palace Master of Lightning, and the other was the Palace Master of Fire. There's a medicinal fragrance coming from over there. Suddenly, the Palace Master of Fire stopped. Medicinal fragrance. Thunder Palace Master was a little confused. There's no mistake. I'm usually a part-time alchemist, so I'm extremely sensitive to the smell of spirit herbs. It's not far ahead. The Palace Master of Fire said. I don't even see spirit medicine in this world, and yet here it is in this barren land. It's definitely extraordinary. Let's go take a look. Thunder Palace Master's eyes lit up. The 2 of them advanced at an extreme speed. Not long after, a mound appeared in front of them. The medicinal fragrance was coming from this mound. The surroundings of the mound were also barren, but there were 7 spiritual herbs growing on the mound. And it was a top-grade level 6 spiritual herb. What kind of place was this? How could it turn a level 1 spiritual herb into a top-tier level 6 spiritual herb? Profound yellow soil, that's profound yellow soil. The Palace Master of Fire looked at the bottom of the 7-section grass and his eyes suddenly widened, revealing a look of disbelief. Below the 7-section grass was red and yellow soil. A terrifying spiritual energy was exuding from the soil. This was Xianhuang Silico Earth. What? Profound yellow soil. Thunder Palace Master was also shocked. His eyes were wide open and then, his eyes revealed a burning greed. Looking at the surface area, it was about 1 meter square. How many gene was it? One had to know that in the outside world, in a small domain like the Tianxian region, treasures like the Xianhuang obsidian could not be found. In some larger domains it was possible to find Xianhuang obsidian, but they were extremely rare and were sold at the price of 2 taels. And here he didn't know how many gene there were. Ha ha ha, I'm rich, I'm rich. The Palace Master of Fire's mouth was about to split open from his smile. Compared to the dark yellow soil, the 7 pieces of level 6 upper-grade common knotgrass were not as eye-catching. Old Hua, since the 2 of us have discovered it together, we'll each take half of it. How about it? Thunder Palace Master said. Sure, no problem. The Palace Master of Fire nodded and stared at the Xianhuang silicoid soil. Old Hua, you are more skilled in alchemy. You will be in charge of excavating the dark yellow obsidian soil. I will stand guard at the side. Thunder Palace Master said. All right. The Palace Master of Fire nodded and then flew toward the mound with a fiery gaze. At this moment, a sinister look flashed across the eyes of the Thunder Palace Master. A sword of lightning appeared in his hand, and he stabbed the back of the Fire Palace Master. The Fire Palace Master had never expected that the Thunder Palace Master, whom he had known for several hundred years, would make a move on him. He was caught off guard and was stabbed in the face. Poochie! The sword of lightning pierced through the Palace Master of Fire's chest. Ah! The Fire Palace Master let out an earth-shattering roar. A fire lion appeared and pounced at the Thunder Palace Master. Thunder Palace Master pulled out his long sword and retreated 1,000 meters, avoiding the fire lion's attack. Why? The Fire Palace Master turned around. His eyes were red as he looked at the Thunder Palace Master in disbelief. Hee, isn't it a pity for 2 people to share such a large piece of dark yellow soil? I'll take it all for myself. Isn't that great? Also, I've been coveting the Power Upanishad crystals in your storage ring for a long time. Thunder Palace Master sneered. You deserve to die. You should die. The Palace Master of Fire roared in anger. I deserve to die? Ha ha ha, you're the one who's going to die now. The Thunder Palace Master laughed wildly. The thunder on his body flashed, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Stop! Right at this moment a furious roar was heard. A figure was approaching at extreme speed. Buzz! A figure appeared. It was Lu Ming. The little turtle Dandan was standing on his shoulder. Under Dandan's guidance, He flew over and just happened to see the scene of the Palace Master of Thunder attacking the Palace Master of Fire. Chapter 571. 571 The Great Battle with the Thunder Palace Master. Lu Ming. Oh, little bastard, it's you. The moment Lu Ming arrived, the Palace Masters of Fire and Thunder exclaimed in shock. Lu Ming glanced at the Palace Master of Fire and sighed. The Palace Master of Fire's heart had been pierced by the Palace Master of Thunder. Furthermore, he had been ravaged by the power of thunder. He was already at his wits' end. If not for the Palace Master of Fire's profound cultivation, he would have died. Lu Ming, hurry up and leave. Hurry up and run. The Palace Master of Fire shouted. Go, where do you want to go? Last time you were lucky enough to escape. This time you're still as stupid as ever. You've delivered yourself to my door. He's really seeking his own death. Thunder Palace Master laughed heartily. This time not only would he be able to obtain the dark yellow soil, but he would also be able to get rid of Lu Ming, a great threat. Naturally, he was extremely happy. Lu Ming's eyes flickered, but he did not reply. Instead, he sent a voice transmission to Dandan. Dandan, you said you're an unparalleled expert. Can you slap this old man to death now? Lu Ming said. Cough cough, didn't I tell you? I've just been reborn, and my strength hasn't recovered yet. I'm afraid I'm not his match, but you have to believe me, when I'm at my peak, not to mention this kind of trash, even if it's a spiritual ocean tier warrior, I can kill thousands of them with a single breath. Even if it's a martial emperor, I can kill a large group with a single slap. Dandan stood on Lu Ming's shoulder and transmitted her voice to Lu Ming smugly. Lu Ming was speechless. Kill. Suddenly, the Thunder Palace Master shouted in a low voice. With a flash of lightning, he slashed his sword at Lu Ming. Raging lions bursting flames. The Fire Palace Master roared, and a scorching aura burst out from his body. A huge flame lion rushed out and charged at the Thunder Palace Master. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming thrust his spear. Boom! With a loud boom, the Temple Master of Thunder drifted backward while Lu Ming and the Temple Master of Fire also drifted back dozens of meters. The Palace Master of Fire coughed out a large mouthful of blood. His body trembled and he actually couldn't float in the air. Instead, he fell to the ground. Senior. Lu Ming waved his hand and wrapped the Palace Master of Fire with his vital essence, bringing him to the ground. Lu Ming, run. You're not his match. The Palace Master of Fire roared and kept spitting out blood. There were even traces of lightning in the blood. Haha, old fire, he's about to die. If he still wants to attack, he'll only die faster. You don't have to tell him to escape. Do you think he can escape from me? Thunder Palace Master sneered, his eyes cold. Old man, you're the one to die today. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely cold. There were no living beings here. Lu Ming decided to take a risk and use the lightning cauldron to kill the Lightning Palace Master. I'm the one who died? Ha ha ha. That's the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. Thunder Palace Master laughed. Then his face darkened and he shouted, Die! Between heaven and earth, thunder and lightning gathered, forming a huge sword of lightning that slashed at Lu Ming. True Dragon Strike. Boom! Lu Ming's cultivation was completely unleashed. The three-colored concepts merged and he thrust his spear forward. A huge three-colored true dragon flew out and roared. Boom! With a violent boom, Lu Ming's body trembled and he retreated rapidly. However, the Lightning Palace Master's lightning sword was also blocked by Lu Ming. Not far away, the Palace Master of Fire was extremely shocked. He had never expected that Lu Ming would be able to block the attack of the Palace Master of Lightning. Impossible? How is that possible? Thunder Palace Master roared in disbelief. In such a short period of time, Lu Ming's cultivation had soared to the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm, and his combat strength was extremely terrifying. His heart trembled. He had lived for hundreds of years and had never seen such a terrifying genius. No, he was like a terrifying monster. Even Yin Kuang-tu, the genius who had shocked the entire Eastern Barren territory 100 years ago, was not this terrifying. Kill him. If I don't kill him, I'll die. Thunder Palace Master felt extremely terrified. It was the fear that Lu Ming brought to him. As expected, I'm still a little lacking compared to a Level 9 Martial King. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. With his combat strength, he could easily kill a Level 8 Martial King Realm martial artist, but there was still a gap between him and a Level 9 Martial King Realm martial artist. Lu Ming, I have a way to increase your strength and kill that old man. At this time, Danden's voice came into his ears. What is it? Lu Ming asked. I'm the leader of the top 10 war beasts, and I've lived for a very long time. Not only is my combat strength invincible, but my Tao of inscription is also invincible. I'm now inscribing an inscription formation on your body, which can make your true essence instantly go berserk and double its strength. This way you can suppress that old man. Moreover, this method has no side effects. Danden explained proudly. Nonsense, then hurry up. Lu Ming shouted. Hold on for a few moves. I'll inscribe it. Immediately, Danden's pair of front claws glowed with light and waved continuously. Oh! With a flash of lightning, the Thunder Palace Master turned into a bolt of lightning and appeared in front of Lu Ming in an instant, slashing down with his sword. Clang! Lu Ming blocked the attack with his long spear, but his body was sent flying backward. Lightning strike! Thunder Palace Master used his killer move. The lightning sword stabbed out, and the air was instantly scorched by the power of lightning, forming a space zone. Gakudo Path attack. Clang! The two powerful attacks collided. A blazing light spot that was brighter than the sun burst out where the tip of the spear and the tip of the sword met. Buzz! Lu Ming's body trembled violently and his qi and blood churned. He was sent flying a few thousand meters and a trace of blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. Danden, are you done? Lu Ming asked. Ahem, wait a minute. I failed just now. Danden coughed a few times. Nest! Lu Ming wanted to curse. Danden was too unreliable. She failed to inscribe an inscription. Was she trying to fool him? I failed again. Danden muttered. Lu Ming was speechless. He could only fight back and fight against the Palace Master of Thunder Palace. The booming sounds continued. After 5 to 6 moves, Lu Ming's body was in great pain. Die! Thunder Palace Master seemed to have gone crazy, and the aura on his body became stronger and stronger. Danden, are you done? Lu Ming asked again. If things didn't go well, he would use the lightning cauldron to kill the Lightning Palace Master. Haha, it's done. Danden laughed. At this moment, rays of light suddenly emanated from Lu Ming's body. Lines of beautiful inscriptions emerged on his body. At this moment, Lu Ming felt the essential core in his body circulating crazily and becoming violent. Compared to before, it was a huge improvement, not just twice. So strong. Lu Ming felt that he was filled with endless energy. At this moment, Thunder Palace Master charged over again. Kill! Lu Ming roared and drew his spear. Buzz! The space trembled violently. The long spear formed an arc and struck the combat sword of Thunder Palace Master heavily. Bang! Thunder Palace Master was like a cannonball as he was sent flying for more than 10,000 meters. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.